Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. This was going to be a pretty dull weekend, however, they did a thing. They did a very mighty thing. As you guys know, we got a 5.1 patch earlier this week, and one of the things that it added was a pity timer to the Treasure Vault event, and we weren't supposed to have a Treasure Vault event this week. We were supposed to have the next one in about a month from now, but I guess because of the patch, they brought one today, and for the next 3 days as Vault events normally go for the entire weekend, all the way from today until Monday reset. So yeah, we got a lot of grinding to go do. Epic Vault Keys are now a thing. There's a pity timer to it. So basically the pity timer is over here. It's underneath this little thing. It doesn't show up for whatever reason. I was trying to find it on this page. And for whatever reason, it doesn't show here. But it does show underneath its own little tab over here. And basically this thing, every single time you find a gnome, it'll tick up this timer. And it'll go from 5 then to 10 then to 15 then to 20, so on and so forth. But it will make it so it'll guarantee you some amount of vault keys. This will basically completely, well, not completely, but it'll get rid of some of the disparity between people who get like, let's say you kill 100 gnomes and someone gets like 10 Volkies, and then someone else gets like 0 to 2 Volkies off that same amount of kills. It'll basically close that gap a little bit. Obviously, there'll still be some random luck to it, as normal gnomes still have their full normal drops, and you can still have someone getting that many within that short of a duration. However, you will have some guaranteed amount of Volkies. Your first 5 kills will be a Volkey, your first 15 kills will be another Volkey, then the first 30 kills will end up being another Volkey, so on and so forth, and then it just keeps ticking up by 5 each time, the milestone that you need for it. So, yeah, it will end up being pretty good. End up being pretty good for the additional amount of loot. Anyways, hello everyone! Hello Ziploman! Hello Gustavo! Hello Elite Gaming! Hello Scout! Hello Rocker! Hello Elite! Hello Visual! Let's see, how many keys you got last Vault event? We got 9. Technically, based on the drop rate of Epic Vault Keys, you need to find about 10 normal Vault Keys in order to get an Epic Vault Key, because it's about 10% the rate of a normal Vault Key. So if we do about as much grind as we did last weekend, we should be able to make it. That is the goal. Let's see. We will be keeping track of it. Though we technically don't need to keep track of how many gnomes we killed, because it will actually keep track of it for us, in a way. We would just have to do the math on what stage we're currently on. But, yeah, we don't even need to keep track of how many gnomes we killed. We only need to keep track of how many Vault Keys we have found. And I'm also going to keep track of the Vault Keys that we get from the Guarantee Vault Key, separate from our normal Vault Key stack. Also, hello, Isabel. Hello, Ricardo. Hello, Sfroom. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Simple. Hello, Wayne. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. I'm probably going to be doing Explore 3 rather than Explore 12, just so we can get a bit of a quicker rate. And so we can hopefully find that Vault Key. I mean, the Epic Vault Key. So we're going to go to Armor. And yeah, let's get the grind on. Let's go to Zejin. Let's go to Explore 2. Actually, if we're doing that, we can just keep Magic on then. Because we can use the other weapon to one-shot. Get that super quick kill. Let's do it here then. And change to a real team for this. Boom. There we go. Because obviously we don't want to use anything that's for Explore 12. They go very slow. Even the Zugov team would be exceedingly slow. And look at that. We already found a gnome on our very first battle. That was quick. You want to drop us an Epic Vault Key already and be done with the hunt? No, just kidding. That'd be insane. Hey! Did they fix Droll Gnome's drop table? It actually gave me something. We got 10 diamonds. That's like unheard of. Did they actually finally tweak her drop table? Because her drop table was pitiful. Also, I haven't seen a single Daemon gnome yet. Hopefully we get to see a couple of them. Anyways, not like they have a good drop table. Let me go fix the data below us. And by the data below us, I mean the non-existent data below us. Okay, so let's keep track of Vault Key. So 0 plus 0. The second number will be our guarantee Vault Keys. And then we'll have a separate one. Let's go make a text field for Epic Vault Keys. That, or you know what? Let's just go overwrite this other one. Oops, that's not what I wanted to move. Let me move my Vault Keys. There it is. So this 35 bulky Vault Key. Actually, you know what? Nah. Let's just make another one of this. Because that keeps track of how many the highest we've ever gotten on a weekend. I don't think we've ever actually topped that. You know what? We'll just make a new field for it. Not that big a deal. Add. Where is it? Well, is it? Gosh, there's so many different things. Where's the text file? There it is, text. Create a new one. Call it Epic Vault Keys. Or I should say Epic Vault Key, because we are very unlikely getting more than one. Let's see. Epic Vaults Keys. I'll name it Keys. Or Epic Vaults. Let's just call it Epic Vaults. There we go. What size is it currently? It's probably way too... Yeah. Way too small. I believe 96 is about what the other one is. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay. We good? Should be good. Oh, I forgot to put a 0 there. Which will be an unchanging number, most likely. Probably. Let's see. Let me go modify it. Epic Volts, 0. I highly doubt I will need to change that this entire stream. But you never know. Yeah, that should be good. Anyways. I'll keep track of both of those. Chat above us still not working, but it's working on the side on YouTube's normal thing. So that's fine. Anyways. Let's keep hunting. We already found a gnome. Let's keep going. Oh, so why am I using our Scare Shield? I should be using Crude Club. Or something else. I need to go switch to the other team then. That or just modify this team to be that. Let me see. Where's my other team? Okay, fine. We'll just change this to the correct team then. Which isn't much of a deal. We just change to Doom's Club. Doom's Club, where are you? There. Alright, we're good to go. Oh, we're currently using Archer as well. Actually, that's fine. That actually doesn't really matter much. You got 4 Vault Keys from the timer already? Yeah, it's going to give you a lot initially, though. Like, it'll shower with them initially, and then it's going to get very, very slow. Because obviously the amount you need will drastically increase over time. So I do need to keep an eye out for 5 times Brown. 5 times Brown is full mana with this team. So not much of a point taking a 4 times. Unless we have a guarantee Cascade into another Brown in sight, which is very rare that that setup would actually ever be on the board. So I really should just look for 5 times. So this team now allows us to instant win off of 4 times green, 4 times 5 times green, 4 times 5 times blue, and 5 times brown. Will all allow us to instant win on turn 1. And there's one of them. Also, Archer has 20% extra stats this week. I almost forgot. Between the 2 10% that we got from the weekly event. And Battle Crashers do not count as gnomes, so do be aware of that. We've seen them almost every single battle because of how common they are. But they do not count as gnomes. They specifically have to have gnomes. However, gnomes have priority over the Battle Crashers. So if you were to get a gnome, you'll always get the gnome and not the Battle Crasher. Though most of your battles will have nothing. Like this battle. Which I shouldn't say most. Only about half your battles should. Between the increased rate of gnomes and Battle Crashers, it should seem like we're almost always getting Battle Crashers. And then the ever so occasional gnome. But very few battles should have nothing. Like, it should only be about half the battles should have nothing. Which, compared to normal rates, is barely any. As I say that, every single battle we're getting keeps having nothing. Will I do a 12 every single time I get close to it? No. I'm probably just going to spam 2. So we can get the higher rate of gnomes. Especially with the pity timer now. There's even more of a reason to do the low level than the higher level. Because even if you're not getting Vault Keys, you're still getting Vault Keys. From pity timer. Actually, we should be getting our first one soon. Does it actually notify you when you get one? Or do you just have to go and claim it manually? I think we're at 3, right? But if it notifies you, then hopefully it does. So I don't need to keep checking. That or automatically gives it to you. It said it mails it to you, so I assume it's automatic. Oh yeah, the mail notification would show up. If we randomly get a mail notification when we didn't gain a level, that would most likely be the gnome then. Because there's almost nothing else other than someone doing a task in my guild, which is like into the week is very rare. Most people do all their gold in the first few days. But yeah, since it gets mailed to you, it'll probably show a mail pop up when we get it. It might not necessarily show that we hit the objective, but it'll show a mail pop up after the battle. They have nothing else. We also got a bunch of free gold this week too. We'll be able to stack up a lot of gold. 500 almost every 3 battles or so from the Battle Crasher. I'm not sure its exact drop rate, but it sure seems like 1 every 3. Stop cascading. Gosh, that was a big cascade. You gave us a map. It was such a big cascade. But yeah, the Battle Crashers alone, not even counting any other bit of gold that you're getting, should come out to about 30,000 gold per hour. Probably even more than that. But like at bare minimum, you're getting like 30,000 gold per hour from Battle Crashers. It's pretty high. And that's on top of like your other gold rate. Obviously that's not like the best gold in the game. You can get like 300,000, 400,000 per hour. But getting like a free 30,000 on top of what you would already be doing is pretty solid. Why is the Mythic best in splash damage other than Ketris? Mistralis, Infernus. I think those are the main ones. Neither of them upscale though. But Mistralis and Infernus are 2 of the bigger splash damage mythics. And splash damage is pretty useful because it can slightly bypass barrier. And it completely bypasses Submerge compared to full AoE options. Oh yeah, Aquaticus is okay. The only thing I hate about Aquaticus is it can't really be used for Guild War, particularly Blue Guild War. Mostly because of the hard counter to blue. It needs a lot of blues on the board. And if that gets denied, that's puts it in a really bad situation. Whereas all the other similar troops don't need to worry about that aspect. Yeah, there's several others as well, but I would say Mistralis and Infernus, if you're looking sheerly at their total amount of damage, are probably the 2 higher ones. King Bloodwood is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it. Same as how I'm not a fan of Obsidious' damage. Obsidious has a really good trait, but he technically has Splash, but it's just such a weird Splash that it's not worth using. Even if he had a 100% chance to do his second Splash, it would still be less damage than Infernus. Yeah, it's a 50% chance that he'll do his second Splash. Which I still don't understand to this day, why they made it a % chance. Because even if it wasn't, it's still weaker than the damage output of Infernus. Doesn't make any sense at all. I guess they thought its final trait was already so good that they didn't need to make it even stronger. Which is kind of the case, because you sometimes quite literally use him just for his final trait. But similarly, you also use Infernus just for his final trait occasionally. Also, wasn't that enough? Or are we 1 short? Apparently we're 1 short. Where does the tracker go? Really? If you have a pet active, it doesn't show you the tracker? Does anyone know where the tracker goes if you have a pet? That's a pretty big oversight. That's very weird. How do you see the tracker? Yeah, does anyone know how you see the tracker if you have a gnome? Or is it literally impossible? My tracker's gone! Why would they not put it in a different location? That's so weird. This is why you beta test things. This is what happens when you don't beta test things. Let's see. Throw that down. It's not under Gnome Vault. You'd expect it to be there, but I don't see it there. Unless it's underneath a question mark there. Hold up. Maybe it is. No, there's not a question mark here. That'd be a perfect location to put it. Or somewhere's here. I don't see it anywheres. The tracker's there. Where? It's not here. It's not there. It's not there. And I'm not seeing it. Where do you see the tracker here? It's not anywhere here. It's not here. There's no little like question mark thing that could bring it up. It's not here. It's not there. It should normally be right there, but pet overrides it. So we technically have to do this pet to be able to see it, which is pointless because we don't get gnome drops during the pet, and I don't need the pet. That's a pretty big oversight on their part. Hopefully it still gives us the vault key. I know we're one gnome away at this point. That'd be very weird if this doesn't ship it. Yeah, it's really weird that the vault menu doesn't bring it up in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's where you would expect it to be. Hello, Vespenny! Welcome. Also, hello, Kuwait, if I didn't already say hi. Don't believe I did. Too bad we don't have a battle crasher tracker. Give us like 10,000 gold every like X amount of battle crashers we find. Gosh, are we going to be finding a lot of them? We should be finding battle crashers at a rate of about 5 to 6 times more than the normal gnomes. Casual PvP is a perfectly good location to farm them in. It's slightly slower than what we're doing now. However, you get a lot more class EXP. The reason I don't do that is because we maxed out every class, so I don't need to anymore. However, yes, doing casual PvP is a pretty decent rate. You could theoretically even be doing Explore 12. However, Explore 12 is about half the rate of what we're currently doing. Possibly even slightly slower than that. Whereas casual 1-trophy PvP isn't too much slower than what we're doing now. It is slower, but for the extra class XP, it might be worth it if you're still leveling a bunch of stuff. Which most people are. We finished that like 2 months back, so just going all in on the grinds. Hopefully we'll find a next gnome soon to get our first guarantee vault key. Yep, there it is. This should be our first guarantee vault key. Assuming it's working correctly when it's not showing. Which it should. Yep, we get a new mail. And that new mail should be our very first... Hey, 1,000 glory. So you see now, we got 1,000 glory and a few other drops, but we haven't gotten any vault key. However, guarantee vault key! Vault weekend reward. You defeated enough gnomes to earn a vault key. Look at that. Look at how shiny that is. I'm not even going to claim it. It's so shiny. However, I will update the number. So, vault key number. We now have 0 plus 1. I'm keeping them separate. Because obviously, yeah. Actually, the second number is going to probably be the bigger number. At least initially, anyways. But there we go. 0 plus 1 is our current vault key number. Well, let's keep going. So at this point, we would normally have 0 vault keys during the event. But now we have 1. And now if we kill another 10 gnomes, we'll have 2. Even if we don't find a single drop off the gnomes. So it's basically a pity timer for gnomes, essentially. It does have a bit of a diminishing return, so after you farm for like 5-10 hours, you'll notice like quite a drop-off of the free vault keys that you get. But you'd still have the normal drop table. Yes, the Daemon Gnomes takes 50 mana. I've seen it around. I just haven't actually seen it in the game. Or, you know, I haven't seen it as a thing that drops the loot. Well, we'll definitely find one today. There's no way we're not going to find one today. We'll probably find one in the first hour. No, it's not every weekend. It's only during gnome events. Do keep in mind that the vault tracker is only during gnome events, which generally only happen about once every month. Assuming they haven't changed the time of the other one, the next vault event is pretty much exactly a month from now. I believe it was the 15th or 13th of September. Whatever the closest Friday is to that date I just said is when the next vault event is. So we have basically a month from now until the next vault event. We weren't supposed to have a vault event today. They brought this out of nowhere. Mostly because of the patch. The 5.1 patch came out of nowhere, and so did this Vault event. But pretty cool. Because otherwise, this weekend would have had nothing. Maybe that's why it had nothing. It was because they always knew they were going to do a Vault event. But they weren't going to modify it until the end. To keep it as a surprise. Yeah, pretty nice. It's not a buffed Vault event, though. But theoretically, all Vault events are semi-buffed now because of Pity Timer. Yeah, I checked it last night. We still don't have info on the new Delve Troops. Yet it's coming out in 2 weeks. They normally do a stream on it a week prior. So that means this Monday we might have some info on it. Because if they're previewing it on Monday, unless they're doing it the following Monday. But if they're previewing it this Monday, we'll know more info about them in like 3 or 4 days. Is this the first time in Gems of War history to have 2 Vault weekends back to back? Actually, it might be. I don't think we've ever had 2 Vault weekends back to back. Too bad that wasn't a normal thing. Every weekend being Vault weekend. Could you imagine? Honestly, with the way the game's economy is going, they almost need to. Gosh. But, that would be pretty cool. They were never going to do that, though. It'll probably remain a monthly thing. We just kind of got lucky. But yeah, we got a buffed up Vault event. Then we had back-to-back Vault events. All within a month period. It's the most Vault events we ever had in that short of duration. And the first back-to-back Vault event. But yeah, the Pity Timer is only specifically during Vault events. It does not occur at any other point. Has to be a Vault event to have the Pity Timer thing. And then it gets reset after the Vault event until the next Vault event. And then it doesn't start back up until the next Vault event. But it basically just runs, the Pity Timer runs the duration of every Vault event, essentially. And resets back all the way from the start every Vault event. So you can get a decent amount of guarantee keys. Oh, you got an epic key? Nice! Very nice. Yeah, I'm still hunting for it. There's a good chance we might not even get one this weekend. But that is the goal. The goal is to get at least 1 epic Vault key. It's about as rare as finding 10 natural Vault keys. I don't think I saw its art specifically. I kind of glanced over it. Like, I physically looked at it, but I wasn't, like, looking at it. So I forget what it looks like. The gnome tracker is a bit weird. They made it so if there's any other event going on, it doesn't visually show. So if you have a pet active right now, it's actually impossible to see it. It's a pretty big oversight on their part. But hopefully it'll fix that by next patch, or maybe even do a mini patch for it. But it is actually impossible to see the tracker if you have any other event going, most notably the pet event. So if you currently have a pet active, which most people constantly will because it's a gnome event, you will not be able to see the tracker until you actually do the gnome event. But more often than not, you don't actually do the gnomes, assuming you already have it maxed. Not much of a point to do so. I guess with summoning stones and everything, I guess it somewhat is a point. But during that time, you don't get any gnome drops. Daemon Gnome shouldn't be in any drop table. It's a pretty big oversight on their part. Maybe initially it was, because they forgot once again to actually put it into the right drop table. Yeah, Damon Gnome has the highest mana cost in the game. Poor Zugoff, not the highest anymore. I'm not 100% sure what the total drop table is for the Epic Volkies. I'm not sure if anyone's data mined it or if we've gotten enough data to really know all the drops yet. However, it has a lot more loot than normal. The main one I've heard so far is 2 major orbs is one of them. I highly doubt a power orb is one, though I want to think that one might be possible on a very, very low rate. But it's basically just buffed up normal Volky loot for the most part. For how much rarer they are, their loot doesn't scale too much higher. That's still decently higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it has like a 500 gem drop or something as well. Similar drops. Hopefully we'll get at least 1 or 2 this weekend. Buffed up loot, aka more minor trait stone sends. And souls. Oh yeah, I forgot. We started at a weird amount of keys too. We started at 195. Well, I'll definitely be repaired back to 200 soon with a pity timer. Because we found 0 Volkies so far, yet we're close to finding 2 Volkies total from pity timer. Though we can't check because we have a pet active. Yeah, I normally don't do the pets if it's already maxed. But now that we start needing colored jewels for a lot of things, I might start doing them. However, most of the things that require colored jewels I don't necessarily need to do. Like crafting pet food is completely pointless. Using them for those new D things is probably never going to be done. Or at least not till way, way, way later. And the exchange rate for it's just horrible compared to the amount we'll likely naturally get. So not too much of a point in doing those. And the only other one is Summoning Stones. Summoning Stones use so little. And then the only other main one is weapons, but I already own every weapon in the game. Other than the ones that are Kingdom locked currently. That came in the most recent patch, but those don't cost that much. They're like 300 of a single color each. Why is Mirage Queen in this team? To give half mana start to her Wayne. It gives her 6 mana instead of 0. Which allows her to almost always get full mana off a Leprechaun. If you had to go longer, like more than 1 cast, you would normally replace it with something else, like Harpy Mage or something. But if you're only doing single cast for Wayne, or single cast Fenicio if you're doing like a Fenicio build for it, it's worth having just for the mana start. Of course, there's 20% mana start, but 50% is normally enough that a single explosion will get them to full mana, whereas 20% is sometimes too far. And there'll be many battles where an explosion will not get it to full. That can still happen even with 50%, but it's very rare with 50% that you would ever miss full mana off a Leprechaun. Unless the board's just really bad on greens, the starting board. One nice thing that with the recent change, though, that we ended up doing with the Crude Club, even if we don't have a lot of green on the starting board, if we have a lot of brown, we can actually still get the quick kill. theoretically, same if we have a 5 times red or blue and the board is just horrible on greens. Because we might be able to get a Mirage Queen alignment. Or no, my blue would already be in her, but I mean the red. Oh, still no Volkies. Or natural Volkies. What was your question? Zugoff, Daemon Gnome, and Great Maul. 3 kills. Is it possible? Yes. All 3 of them can do their instant kill. And it wouldn't overlap each other. That would take way too much mana to do, though. Also, at that point, if you already have Zugoff, you might as well just do Zugoff for all 3 of the instant kills. Like, there's no point in using Zugoff and Daemon Gnome together. Actually, I don't think there's any point you would ever use Daemon Gnome. 50 mana cost using only 1 color is just way too hard to fill. It's kind of like a Zugoff if you don't own Zugoff. But if you own Zugoff, there is really no point in ever using it. It's almost like pre-nerf Zugoff, but it's a lot harder to fill. That totals to too much mana, but it's 110. There's actually a troop that gives half mana to a ally, and you can cast that twice to get the full mana. It's not really viable to do that, though. Trying to use that thing in a team while trying to challenge them. There's one problem with that. I don't own a copy of it. We could try it when we get a copy of it. Though it might be a while until we eventually find it. Also, I wonder if the Heart of Rage will be in epic Volkies instead of normal Volkies. I sure hope not. Well, I need to save the Volkies in case crafting material from the events go into that drop table. Especially if we get confirmation that it gets consumed. Which we still don't have confirmation on yet. Because that means we'll need to regain the copy of it. And we'll need keys for that, Vault keys. How does your hero card increase in rarity? It's based on your level. Rare is, you start off at common, then rare is at 10, ultra rare is at 25, epic is at 50, legendary is at 100, and mythic, the final border, is at 500. So once you're level 500, you'll have this tealish border. But those are all the level ranges that changes colors. There's not a red one for extremely high level, though. Boss troops are kind of exclusive to having that border. But at 500, it goes as high as it can go. At least as far as the border color. You still gain more stats after that. You basically gain stats all the way to level 2000 hero class. Which we are still ways away from. Probably like 4 years away from being that level. At least at the current rate of EXP in the game. With how much I play. It takes a while. Very few people are that high. They'd have to grind a lot of time. Even if we check global right now, I'm pretty sure we won't barely see anyone over 1,500. That's my guild. Let's go to global 1, assuming it's not full. Good, okay. Let's see. What kind of levels? Hey, you see 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Not seeing anyone over. There's 1,400. Yeah, not a single over 1,500 yet. At least in chat right now. Takes a while. At this rate, we're gaining 100 levels like every year. Theoretically, level 2000 hero class is max level. It technically keeps going, but realistically, level 2000 is max. That's also when you get the last realistic stat. I heard rumor that you get another stat every 1000. However, getting to 3000 is near impossible. There are 0 people at it. But 2000 is basically considered max level, even though it's not actually max level. And by that point, your hero will be at max stats. Obviously, it doesn't make too big of a difference. Between 1000 and 2000, you only gain 10 stats on your hero, and it's specifically only for your hero. But they add up. And currently, I'm only missing 5 of those stats. One of which we'll be getting in a couple months when we hit 1,600. I believe it's just an HP value, though, which obviously does very little. Yes, at one point, level 1000 was the max in the game. About 3 years ago, they raised it from 1,000 to 10,000, though 10,000 is literally impossible to get. It takes like 40, 60 years or something. And that's if you're playing like 10 plus hours a day. So obviously that's never reachable. They never intended anyone to ever reach it. But yes, the level cap used to be 1,000 for about a year and a half. Originally it was 100. Then after about a month of the game or so, they raised it to 1,000. And then after about a year to a year and a half to almost 2 years of the game being out, they raised it to 10,000. Though realistically to 2,000 because 10,000 is not obtainable. Yeah, I would say any level over 1,300 is extremely high. Hello, Lestat. Welcome. Oh, so we should be getting that pity timer Volkey soon. We're not getting a single normal Volkey yet, though. Oh, due to this Vault event, you have enough to make Zugov. Congrats, Paul. Very nice. Very, very nice. Great milestone to reach. Oh, so hello, Drock Savage. Welcome. And hello, Jacob. I always find that funny. Sometimes I answer someone's question, but I forget to say hello to them. Yeah, this was a really unexpected Vault event. Probably the most expected one we've ever had. Though it kind of made sense that they would, given that we just got a buff to it. But I wouldn't put it past them to doing a buff to something and then waiting a whole month until it comes back around. No, Battle Crasher does not impact Gnome rates. Gnome has priority over Battle Crasher. And it does not affect the pity timer for Gnomes because it counts separately. Or, you know, it doesn't count towards the timer. But no, it doesn't affect your Gnome rate any way. It's just some free loot. If a Gnome and a Battle Crasher were to happen at the same time, you would just get a Gnome instead. Gosh, 2 minor trade stones. At least he's going towards pity timer. Should you craft Fenicio or Possess King this week? I personally find Fenicio to be more useful. However, Possess King gives you +1 magic for Darkstone if you can get it to 10 stars. Which might be more useful since you could use that in any battle, whereas Fenicio can just be used for a couple quick kill battles for dailies. But I use Fenicio at least like 90% more, if not more than that. Like I almost never use Possessed King. It's very situational. You mostly use it with some Skull Spam teams, some Doom Skull teams, and some options for mana accumulation, like with Iron Gut, because you need it occasionally for the transform. But as far as actually using it, I feel like I use it very rarely. But it does permanently give you a +1 magic bonus if you don't currently have a Darkstone Mythic. Because if you can get 10-star Darkstone out of it, that'll be a magic bonus for all your troops. Forever. Any other option isn't as good. I think it was Queen of Darkness or something. Some kind of like true damage option thing. I forget exactly what it was, but it's nowhere near as good as Possessed King. What happens if Daemon Gnome runs away in a delve? Wait, he appears in delves? Or do you mean if you use him? He won't come back the following battle. And I'm not sure if that counts as a def or not. I believe it should. Though I am not 100% certain if a gnome running away counts as def for delves. I've never actually tested that. Mostly because there's pretty much be no point in ever using any of the gnomes prior. However, one thing that is for sure, you can only use them once in a delve, so not much of a point in using him, since you would only really use him on the final room once. So even if he didn't count as a def, it still wouldn't really matter much, because he would leave the battle as soon as he casts. Meaning if you'd used him at an earlier stage of a battle, he'd be gone for the rest of the delve. It's the reason why you don't use fire bombs and stuff like that. It'll cast once and then you never get to use it for the rest of the delve. And that gnome would have that problem. Because even if he doesn't count as a def, you can only ever use him once for the entire delve. Not once per battle, but once for the entire delve. For something like Tower of Doom, you could use it once per battle. I'm not really sure if that would be that viable, though, and you could only do it on Purple Week. But for delves, it would work, because delve team gets reset every single... Or, sorry, did I say delves? I meant Tower of Doom. For Tower of Doom, it would work, because your team gets reset every single time. For delves, it wouldn't. Also, for delves, it doesn't matter if you go defless. I mean, gosh, I keep saying delves. I mean, Tower of Doom. So it might be viable for Tower of Doom to some capacity, though I still wouldn't really advise it. And it's probably be a while before we get a purple Tower of Doom. Oh, I'm not sure if we're getting that midweek Tower of Doom. Based on the spoiler things, I don't believe we are. But in like a week or two, we should be getting like a weekend Tower of Doom. A Tower of Delves. That'd be kind of interesting. Every single floor is a different delve. It actually would be a pretty cool concept. Also, we almost have enough delves to do it. We have, what, 22 or 23? If you had 25, you could do a different delve per floor. That would actually be a pretty cool concept. If they did that as like a one-off thing. The Tower of Delves. Every floor is a different delve. That'd actually be a lot of fun. Maybe once every single delve is in the game. Tower of Delves. Where it's basically, you try running one team for the entirety of the tower. That would be actually a pretty cool concept. 34 floors. Each one is a different delve. You run the same team for every single one. If you lose anything from the team, it is permanently dead for the entire tower. Yeah, I'm getting close to my second pity timer, Volky. Yeah, I've been farming for about 45 minutes now. We haven't gotten a single Volky, but we got one pity timer, and we're about to get a second pity. So do keep in mind, pity timer does have diminishing return. What's my guild name? Dragon's Peak. I believe we're currently 26 on total trophies, so you can't actually see us anymore on show top. We need to go reclaim our 25th at some point. We're not really bothering with it too much, but hopefully we'll eventually pass them on trophies again. Come on, where are all the gnomes at? We've gotten several battles without one. Just a bunch of battle crashers. Though gnomes are about 1 in every 15 battles during a vault event. We theoretically haven't actually moved forward 15 battles. Of course, you want to get better rate than that. Hello, Smithy! Is it better to use an epic vault key if trying to get vault troops or not? Well, you can't convert your normal vault keys to epic vault keys. You have to randomly find them. As far as their exact drop table, I'm not sure what their full exact drop table is. But no, normal vault keys would actually be better for it overall, I would assume. Because I'm not even sure if epic vault keys even have the commons as a drop table. And even if they do, they might be rarer than a normal vault key, as far as how rare they pop up, since they're a low rarity thing. We should get a Volkey once we have 100 views. That'd be cool. Also, I don't have any codes, unfortunately. Salty never gave me more yet. I'm not even sure she has the ability to generate them right now. But if nothing else, we could just farm the Vault event more. That will be our extra Volkey. I mean, that'll be our redeem code. Just claiming more Volts. Let's see. You use Krishhound the half's armor and lift for the one enemy. If there's a trait troop that can reverse it, if the half happens to them, no. There is no troop that has stat reduction reflect. That would be a pretty cool thing. But no, not even reflect can reflect status reduction reflect, or status reduction. But no, they're not even the reflect mechanic does it. There's nothing that stops stat reduction currently within the game. It's never been a mechanic that got overpowered enough that it's needed to have a counter. How do you know how much damage Rowayne's going to do? You times her armor by 2 and then add her magic. And one of the calculations actually does for you. So she'll do 166, or mine will do 166 damage plus 58. Which comes out to, what is that, 224? right? I think I did that right. 224, somewhere around there. But yeah, you just have to take whatever that number is, and then add it to her armor, or times her armor by 2 and then add it to her armor. I mean, mine is so much higher because we have a lot of base armor right now. We have 24 off of. Well, actually, no, I don't even have that set. Never mind. I just put it into magic. But you can get 24 from setting 3 Medals of Guard. You can, which will be 48 total additional damage. You can have higher stats from 5-star kingdoms, 10-star kingdoms, soon 20-star kingdoms, level 10 kingdoms, level 15 kingdoms, and eventually level 20 kingdoms. And you also get it from guild. There's the normal tasks and the elite tasks. And there's also stats from Underworld. And I believe that's all of them. Not counting team bonuses if it's applicable. Though this team doesn't use any team bonuses. There's a lot of extra ways to gain stats in this game. Most of them are associated to Kingdom. Like 80-90% of them are associated to Kingdom. No, even with 20%, I don't think she has the damage output for 4. For Explore 4. I don't believe she does. Last I recall, she doesn't. I know with 10% she definitely doesn't. Yep, and if everyone else has any other questions, let me know. We'll be here a while on the hunts. Actually, we should be getting our second pity timer key any moment now. If we could ever get the pet away, we'll know what the timer's currently at. Yeah, my armor is a bit lower right now because I'm running magic, not armor. That's why my armor is so low. It could be 24 higher than our current number. But the reason I'm running magic right now is so Doomed Club can kill at this range. We haven't needed it a single time, but there are some occasional situations where we'll actually increase the rate at which we win. Next faction is for Donna. It's going to be a mech faction. What they do, we don't currently know. They're all to be determined, even though it's only 2 weeks away. It's 2 Fridays from now, so it's exactly 2 weeks from today. Oh. Yeah, Tinkertown is its name. It almost sounds like the name should be reversed. Like Tinkertown should be the one in the above world and Adana should be the underworld one. Do I ever tire of Gems of War? I definitely had more fun with the game at certain times than others, but I don't know, I've always had fun with it. It's a pretty fun daily. There's really interesting pacing to the game. There's definitely when you're grinding a lot where you eventually get like bored of grinding at the current session. But as far as playing it for like short durations of time every single day, I enjoy it a lot. Like even this stream, we'll generally only do like normally about 3 hours or so. It's because anything beyond that starts getting a little tiresome, at least in this current session or single session. We'll probably go for about another 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer. Depends if we can actually find any keys. We actually found 0 keys so far. So we're getting close to our second pity timer key. But so far 0 natural keys. So if this was a normal gnome event, I would say that we got in 0 this hour. But pity timer will make it so we technically got 2. We're almost 2. We're about to get the second one. We're like 1 or 2 or 3 gnomes away. Oh yeah, the boosted gnome event was a lot of fun. Theoretically, all gnome events are now boosted due to pity timer. That's not as big of a boost as what we got last month. When using King Bloodwood, 64 extra heavy splash damage, wouldn't it be better than Infernus? Mostly because of, I believe its damage output is lower. You have 2 hits off Infernus, whereas his is just 1, and even though it's heavy splash, and it's compared to normal splash, which is 75% instead of 50, the overall damage of Infernus does come out to be higher. Was the Volkey drop rate nerfed with the pity timer? No. Supposedly. Supposedly is the exact same. It supposedly has not been touched at all. Well, someone said earlier they found 2 in their first hour, which is very much like their normal rate. Obviously, we found 0 so far this hour, but of course, that's normal. So it averages about 90 minutes for one single Volkey. So if we're going like 2-3 hours every single time getting 0, then that's questionable on if it's been nerfed. But if we're getting 1 like every 90 minutes, that's technically at the drop rate. Obviously, you want to be getting quicker than that. You ideally want to be getting at least 1 per hour. Often not the pity timer one, but off the just the normal drop rate. It is possible to get slightly slower. But if you're getting like drastically slower, like everyone is, then that's slightly concerning. But no, if you're getting like 1 every 90 minutes, that's about what the drop rate is. Not counting pity timer Volkeys. Gosh, you got in 7 hours with 0? How many pitter timer ones have you gotten in 7 hours, though? I assume by then you'd be at, like, what, 7, 8? Somewhere around there? Maybe closer to 6. Because it does keep taking longer and longer to get each one. Also, I don't believe there's any cap to the pity timer. I'm not 100% certain on that. But, I don't believe there's a cap. 0 in 5 hours. Ouch. Oh, the tracker's back up? Okay, we don't have a pet anymore. I guess let me see how many gnomes we're at so we know how many we need for next kill. Also take tribute. Is it? We still got 8 minutes. We still got 8 minutes till the pet is gone. That's pretty good then. Oh, the reason it did more damage on World Lore event is because of the metals that make it do more damage. And those metals don't work outside the World Lore event. Yeah, for the World Lore event this week, he'd be okay to use for. I personally find Yasmin to be a bit better because of his loop ability. But it'd still work. Last I recall, Iron Gut has, Infernus has higher overall damage output than Bloodwood. The way that Bloodwood applies the damage is more concentrated, though. Or at least guarantee more concentrated, because you get to specifically target it. Whereas Infernus is more random. But last I checked, Infernus does have higher damage output. Let me see. Because Bloodwood is at, let's see, it's 8 times per, what was it again? So at 8 times, I forget, does this double stack, or does it only count 1 per thing? I'm pretty sure it double stacks. So let's just assume it double stacks. That's 16 per thing. That's 64 additional damage. That's 108. Infernus is, where did Infernus go? Did I spell Infernus wrong? There it is. 108. Though it's very rare that you would ever have full boost ratio off it. But it'd be at 108, whereas Infernus would be at slightly lower than that. So it would theoretically be slightly higher. However, it doesn't, very rarely would you actually have that much boost ratio. And also, it doesn't have mana accumulation. So it in theory has, because the biggest issue with this is a lot of issues that a lot of troops have. But the big issue that the troop has is you don't get any extra turn potential. When you end up going for Bloodwood's ability, he ends his turn, which ends up making it so he ends up doing a lot less, simply because he does not have loop ability. Whereas Infernus can literally get all of its mana right back occasionally by casting. Yeah, it's probably because you did the pet rescue. If you don't do the pet rescue, it's going to keep showing the pet until you do the pet rescue. If we actually get a good pet next hour, we'll be able to see it too. Because we'll do the pet and then we'll get it shown. But if you do the pet, it should stop showing the pet and show the timer instead every single time. If you want to immediately show the timer again. Yeah, timer should be at about 5 minutes at this point. And then we can go see it again. Unless someone gets a pet immediately. But hopefully it'll be a pet we actually need. Yeah, they really need to give Vault its own tab. For 2 reasons. One, so it can show the pity timer, but also so it can show a timer of when the next Vault event is. There's no way to know within the game itself when the next Vault event is. The only time it tells you is like 2 days in advance, except for this most recent one because it was kind of a surprise one. But normally you only know 2 days in advance unless you check spoiler areas. But within the game itself, you have almost no way of knowing. Unlike every other event that has like a really long timer leading up to it. Which is better, Orb Weaver team or Ferocity team? Well, if you're specifically countering out the color Ferocity, So it would only really work in that Guild War situation. Otherwise, generally speaking, the Orb Weaver one is better. But the Frosty one against its counter color normally would be better, I would say, overall. Even though I don't think I actually currently use it for my defense. I might revamp. But yeah, the Frosty build is very, very strong. It's actually killed us a couple times. Isn't it Red Day, I believe? I've been meaning to revamp my Red Day. I still use the Skull Spam anti-red team. So you can technically combine it with Ferocity. Yes, we went over it on our stream 2 days ago, what all the requirements are for 21 to 30. Yes, you'll need 20 gold medals for 30. You also need 4 max pets, 5 pets total, I think 14 max weapons. And you also need 2,500 renown. However, that's in getting the pets, you'll probably already have that. It's almost a redundant requirement. Let's go check our pity timer. There it is. Oh wait, we got one and it didn't mail it to me. Hey, it didn't, or it just didn't notice the notification. Nice, we got 2 Volkies. We had that for a little while then. I just didn't notice it, or it just didn't show. There we go. We are at 0 Volkies plus 2. Good job, pity timer. You made it so we got 2 this hour. Yeah, I really like the pity timer. Might actually be one of the better things that we got this patch. Because it makes Vault events a lot more consistent. Oh, if you have unopened mail, it won't show you the notification for the new one? Interesting. That's weird. Orb Weaver is Cyclops. It's not a common way to use it, but yeah, Cyclops can be pretty devastating once it gets looped. Orb Weavers normally ran with Arachnine Weaver though, the double Weaver, and built into an elf team because the half mana elf start thing. Also, the double stealthy synergizes very well. Because Orb Weaver gains stealthy at 40. And you should always run Orb Weaver stealthy. It's one of the hero classes that basically just default stays on stealthy always. Because every single team it basically gets built into utilizes the stealthy. Not to mention it synergizes very well with its giant spider summon that it has. Hey, we finally got to use this weapon, though we also could have done Rowan. I actually had a 5 times brown, seeming quite rare. Gonna have to take this because of the lack of green. So much so I'm even taking a blue, though unfortunately it didn't surge. The Gob Truffle? We were mostly just looping it and then just needed something else to synergize it with. Then we did it with Farce Troll and it was just so overpowered that we just stayed with it. It's been extremely meta ever since. Yeah, Farce Troll double Gob Truffle is the most consistent infinite loop in the entire game. Combined with Greenstorm, it pretty much doesn't end unless you try to make it end. Like, it can indefinitely loop. infinitely. It's actually the only team that has 100% consistency for infinitely looping. Or essentially 100%. You'd have to make a mistake for it to actually stop looping once you get it going properly. The Cycrax one isn't infinite. It does eventually end, because you will eventually not be able to get enough mana for Cycrax. Whereas when you're doing the other team, a simple 5 times brown gets full mana to Forest Troll. But you can't do the same with Cycrax. The team also doesn't get any benefit from having HP. Three Volkies? Nice. I'm still a bit of ways from my third pity timer Volky. Hopefully we'll get a natural Volky or an epic Volky soon though. We're still at 0. When we're doing this farming, I just sit in one easy kingdom. Normally Zhejian, but there's many options. As long as they don't have any kind of revive on death or empower or anything that's annoying that would slow you down. Zhejian is one of them that don't have any of those mechanics. What happens if you set a guild's level requirement to, let's say, 10, and some members are level 5? Nothing. They are allowed to stay. It doesn't auto-kick them. It just changes the level requirement for people entering. And anything that affects is the minimum level that a person would need to be to end up entering your guild. It does not affect anyone who's currently in the guild. However, if you were to kick them, you'd have to, I believe, change it to get them back in. I'm not sure if an invite would work or not. But as long as they're already in the guild, it wouldn't affect them. Also, even though levels go over 1,000, I don't believe you can set the level cap to over 1,000. Did they ever change that? I don't think they did. This is one of the reasons why a lot of later game guilds don't actually use the mechanic. And they wouldn't want random people coming in normally, even if it is a high level. No, hopping doesn't make you find gnomes easier. If anything, it would do quite the opposite, since it wastes time switching between kingdoms. I believe that's number 5, so we need another 10 gnomes for our guarantee Volky. Unless he wants to drop us one for us right now. Nope. Oh, for level 12 farming? Well, it still wouldn't find gnomes quicker. Similarly, it would be slower. Even if you're doing Explore 12. Obviously, if you want to maximize by chasing 20%, then do that. But it is technically slightly slower, at least from a gnome perspective, than camping a single location. But it is higher for Chaos Shards, of course. Oh, we got a new pet. I think I needed copies of that. Let me just see. Yes, I did. Okay, let's go grab this then. I'm already on magic, so we don't need to change anything. Pet we actually need, so we'll go and clear it out so we can go see our timer again. No, I didn't unhoard all the Volkies. Because we still need to hoard them for the other drops. Like, Enraged Heart and stuff like that. Or Heart of Rage, I mean. Oh gosh, this is the area that has that annoying Submerge. Just by far the most annoying area for running this team. There's not a single one more annoying than these. Because of all the Submerge dodges. Unless we get that first turn full wipe. Oh, you only took 8 Volkies to find it. Nice. What is the fastest metal farming team? I personally like using the Zugoff build. The absolute fastest is Slayer or Dragon Guard. I personally do Dragon Guard because it's safer. But Slayer is theoretically quicker. But it dies a lot more often. But doing that with actually, what weapon do I normally run? Oh yeah, I normally use Flamer. That with Flamer followed by Zugoff Leprechaun, and then a I should just go show the team. Why can't I not remember the other thing? I run so many different teams. Let's see. It was the oh yeah, Thrall. It was the Thrall version. I run the Thrall Leprechaun version. But Flamer as either Slayer or Dragon Guard. I personally run Dragon Guard because it's safer but slightly slower. Thrall for mana accumulation, Zugoff for kill, Leprechaun for mana, and ideally into the first Thrall. Yeah, I forgot. I currently run Thrall Leprechaun. Thrall Leprechaun's pretty good once you have really high magic. But yeah, it works pretty good because Zugoff has such a ridiculously high mana cost. They end up needing for it. I forgot. I run the Thrall build. Thrall is so overpowered in the current state of the game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they nerf him. I hope they don't. But I feel like every single destroy gem troop in the game might get nerfed in one single patch. If they ever start doing rebounds again. Because as magic gets higher, they just keep getting more and more broken. The only problem is if they nerf only Thrall, it'll still be an issue. It'll just make specifically Thrall, not the one that gets used. You'd have to change literally every single troop that has the mechanic. Which is one reason why I feel like they won't do it. Because it's too much work. They would have to modify like several dozen troops. Or maybe not that many. But there's a decent handful, like dozen or two, that use the mechanic. Where they destroy gems based on what their magic is. A couple of them are already changed in the past. Like Ghoul used to have the mechanic, but then got it changed. And now doesn't have it anymore. Now he does a static amount of gem destroy. Which could be something that they do to all of them. Or at least make it based on half their magic. Though even in some game modes, even based on half the magic, would still be absurdly good. Like in Delves, Thrall would still be good even if he was half his magic destroy. Wouldn't be as good as it is now, but it would still get like, in some situations, like 40 or 50 destroy, rather than full board. Yeah, Merilith is the other one that has it. One of the main ones that gets used that has it. It does 6 true damage to all enemies, while having a pretty decent destroy. However, it's not as high as Thrall's, and it costs double the mana. So she does use 2 colors. She also doesn't have extra turn potential on it like Thrall does. I do wish we would have some more abilities kind of like Thrall's, but that are actually like set up properly. That do a negative effect to yourself or to your team, but has a stronger ability. Thrall is a really good example of that. If they made it so it did 1/4 of his max HP as damage to himself, that'd be a pretty good trade-off. So that way you can only cast it 4 times before he dies. Unless you have some form of heal. In which case you'll be able to probably do it 5 times. But, I'd love to see some kind of mechanic like that. Or more of them. Like, obviously, Thrall's mechanic is somewhat supposed to be like that, but 2 damage is basically 0 damage. But if it was 1/4 his total, it'd make it so he can only cast 4 to 5 times. It would actually balance out the fact that he does something negative to the positive. And I feel like most battles you don't cast them more than 4 or 5 times. And obviously be for balancing reasons. Though I guess theoretically, if you cast it 3 times and then get poked, he'll die. Which will make him a lot more vulnerable. But we have very few mechanics like that. Like a really huge negative effect, but having a stronger ability. Because Thrall with high magic is the best mana accumulating troop in the entire game. At least currently anyways. And he doesn't really have any trade-off for it. He's just, everything about it is good. Wow, you got double major blue orb from the thing. Nice. From a epic Valky. Yeah, hopefully we can find an epic Valky this weekend, though we haven't even found any normal Valkys, so not sure where they're hiding at. Not counting the guarantee ones, of course. We're still keeping track of them, but they don't really count. But they do and they don't. Obviously, they're still us getting Valkys, but they're not actually random drops. They're just the guarantee ones that we get. Though at least we know we'll have a certain amount of Valkys every single time we do a Vault event. Because the average Vault event, I would say I probably play for about 10 hours or so. Sometimes a bit more. So if we do it at the 10-hour mark, we can kind of know how many Valkys we would have based on what our pity timer is. Because that'd be the bare minimum of how many Valkys we would likely have within that time range. I don't know, our gnome rate has been pretty normal. Just the Valkys from them are currently 0. About 90 minutes in. But I'm not seeing anything much different with the rate of gnomes. Gnomes are about 1 in every 15 battles. Also, we're about to gain a level. I just need 27 more. Oh, there's one. Come on, Valky. Nope, some gold. Very unfortunate. But the grind continues. And if anyone else has any other questions too, let me know. We can answer them all. 5.1 related. Anything related. Have we gotten data mine yet on what the full drop table is on epic Valkys, by the way? I didn't check this morning to see. I didn't see it prior. I know people have been mentioning drops, but still haven't really gotten like a full drop table yet. If we can ever even find one. We're about 10 times rarer than a normal Volky. And we're at 0 normal Volkies. Yeah, 20, 25, 30. Someone did mention that earlier. Based on the drops. I was assuming 20, 50, 100, but it does appear to be 20, 25, 30. I still have yet to see a Daemon Gnome. Let's notice that. We have yet to actually see one in battle. They're out there somewhere. Hello, Neilter. Welcome. That's a lot of different Chaos Shard values then. Who knows? Maybe it is 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 100. Regardless of what they all are, they're all pretty much pointless. Chaos Shards is a pretty bad drop. It's about as useless as Jewel Gnome in most situations. Oh, so we actually finally got Diamond drop off of Jewel Gnome. We got a 10 Diamond drop today. I'm not sure if they reworked her drop table in the most recent patch. They might have. Because we like never get diamonds off her. That already just got lucky. I don't need more diamonds, but that is theoretically her best drop. Yeah, the Glory Gnome is the most overpowered loot of any gnome. Its lowest loot is worth about 9 gems. Its highest loot is worth about 45 gems in value. Up, and there's 2 diamonds off the normal gnome. There's our level. Oh, there we go. 27 to go. And then we get an HP for our hero. Goal for the end of the year. Oh, with all these gnome events, we might be able to reach even quicker than that, gosh. We've been showered with them lately. And we'll probably have another 3 of them before the end of the year. September, October. Oh, sorry, 4. November and then December. Hey, we finally had a brown start for once. For a reason we're doing Explore 2 rather than 3. Probably not worth it just compared to just spamming 3. I don't believe it's that big of a goal difference. I know every other factor is barely doing anything. I'll check it after this set, but I'm pretty sure it's like almost no difference whatsoever. Even though this is theoretically ever so slightly quicker. In the sense that if we have a 5 times brown board, we get to win about 3 seconds quicker each time. And I believe it's mostly only costing us a very small amount of gold, which is pretty much being made up for by the Battle Crasher easily. Let's see, what was the goal difference? Yeah, 0.5, the base is, what, 250? Or 400, I think it was? So what is that then? That's like a change of about 200 gold per battle. That adds up, though. 200 gold per battle? Oh, we should switch back to Explore 3. Because, yeah, that number would normally be like a 600-700 something. It's like 150 gold per battle or something then. You know, the second we would switch, though, we would get a battle where we would actually need it. "15 minutes with no gnome" is pretty common. Oh, maybe not pretty common. You can find a gnome about every 5 minutes if you're running like low level Explorer. They do have a weird clumping tendency, though. Where you sometimes go a little while and then get a bunch of them all in a row. Yes, there's currently no mythic variant of a trait stone. Whenever they finally do the trait stone sync, they might finally add it. I sound bored. I'm not bored. More so disappointed with the fact that we haven't found a single vault key yet. Because we're still at 0. Obviously, our pity timer one's not at 0. It's at like 2.5. But, wait, why do we have a pet showing? Did we not finish it? Oh, I forgot to do the final 2 battles. Whoops. Let me go do that. Well, they were going to add a sync so that we could, finally have a way to go use them. Kind of like how they keep spamming us with gem sinks. I should have just went full mana naturally there. At least he gave us an okay board. We don't currently know how they would end up doing it. It never really mentions. Let's go claim these. Claiming these shouldn't claim the other one, which is nice. So we can kind of keep them there to keep track of them. Also, we should be able to see our timer now. Wait, why is it not showing the... Well, maybe if we do a battle. Yeah, if I ever got a trade stone sync, it would probably be something for, it wouldn't be elite levels. Actually, I'm not even sure what you would end up syncing it into then. Because what way would they remove trade stones from the game? Unless the only way to get them would be from just scrapping them. But I highly doubt that, because everyone has so many of them. Because they can't really do anything with elite levels. Unless they added like some kind of alternative way to get medals out of them. And that would be a way that they could sync them all. Whatever way they sync it, it would probably be combined with a gem sync though. However, the deed one that the deed sync that they recently added in the most recent patch was associated to a jewel sync, oddly enough. Because if you ever get a lot of Ds, it's going to run through jewels very quickly as far as scrapping them out. Because I think it's like, what, 500 per thing? I can definitely add up. Also, all levelage beyond 15 requires them as well, in the sense that no normal deeds are used at that point. Meaning that once you finally get every single kingdom to level 15, you no longer need normal deeds, and you have to sync them into the bigger ones, which will then sync the jewels. There's quite a few resources that don't have a sync yet to get rid of them from the game, though. Trade Stone is probably the biggest one. Ingots are another one, where once you have all the weapons maxed, there's just nothing to use them for. They mentioned in one of their Q&As about a year back that they do eventually want to sync every resource into something, to have a resource sync for it. Hey, Damon Gnome! I'm pretty sure that's the first one we've ever seen. Where you been hiding? 20 shards. The sinking. Gotta get a sync for the sinks. The three main resources have pretty healthy sinks at the moment, I would say. Souls, gold, and gems. But a lot of the side resources don't have a proper sync. Like trade stones and ingots, among many others. But those are like probably the two biggest offenders of it. Hello, Damon. Welcome. How are we still at 0 Volkies? We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Actually, probably close to an hour and a half. Wait, how much later did I start? No, it was about that time. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Eventually. Soon, TM. I still want to hunt for that epic Volky. They're supposedly about 10 times rarer than a normal Volky, of which we have 0. Not counting Pity Timer. Also, what's kind of cool about this pity timer is it actually keeps track of how many gnomes you found total. You just have to do a little bit of math. Should you fully upgrade Dawnbringer or skip the level? It does have 2 weird destroy gem things. I personally went and fully upgraded it. However, destroy isn't as bad as creating a gem, but it can still backfire. I personally went for it. Because there's a big difference between creating a gem and destroying a gem. Creating a gem, one single gem, has a lot higher chance of backfiring than destroying a gem. Because when Dawnbringer's fully maxed, you guarantee get 2 mana back for it. And while that's not a lot, it's, you know, it gets the next cast up a little bit. And those 2 single drops can hopefully cascade into something. There's a lot higher chance that it'll actually do something good compared to a single gem spawn or double single gem spawn. But 1 or 2 destroys a lot better than 1 or 2 gem spawn. They're both still bad, but gem spawning is worse than destroying. So Dawnbringer isn't too bad to max, since it's a double destroy, not a double gem spawn. It's the reason why I keep Mang unupgraded, because it's a single gem spawn. If it was a single destroy, I'd probably just go and get it upgraded to max. But the gem spawn aspect is the reason I don't. Because as far as how it goes, it's statistically more likely that a destroy will actually help compared to a gem spawn. Because gem spawn has a lot more areas where it can backfire for giving the enemy a 4-time setup or a 5-time setup compared to a single destroy. Because a single destroy guarantee gives you a mana, while also giving you a better chance of aligning, due to the fact that things aren't already aligned. In the sense that, like, there's not going to be a 3 or 4 or 5 already set up. So destroying 1 and then dropping into something will almost never really give you a setup for the enemy. It still technically could, but it's very rare. Like, for example, if this was a green and you destroyed, like, this blue, then whoops, you just gave them a thing over there. But normally you wouldn't really be able to go and destroy something in order to set it up for a extra turn, because it would pretty much already have to be set up that way. Like, if this was a green, 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 and you destroy like this to bring that down to there, like, that wouldn't give anything to the enemy. And if you get it there, you get it for yourself. I guess right there, you would technically get it for the enemy. But there's a lot less instances where it would end up backfiring. Whereas if you were to create a green, the areas where it would backfire would be there, 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 and there. Whereas if you were to destroy a single gem, the areas where it would be backfire on this board would be there, anywhere's in this column. And that's it. That is the only location that would backfire on this entire... Oh, sorry. And right here, if it did any of these 4. So theoretically, I guess that's about the same amount of locations. However, these backfire way harder. But, I guess it almost does come out to same in that kind of regard. But this is a really hefty board as far as how many options are on the board. And I guess it is about the same then. It really just depends on the board setup. Regardless, they're both still bad. But generally speaking, a destroy isn't as bad as a gem crate. I don't think they'll be doing any more rarities for a while. Especially now that they officially created the Doom rarity as a 5.1. I mean 5.0, I mean. Come on, gnomes, come out of hiding. We need your keys. Oh, to grab her. We'll go for explosions. Pity timer, I believe, is 6 away. Alright, we finally finished out the pet. We can actually see what the time is now. We're gonna have to go check it after. Do after this battle. I believe we're 7 away, I want to say. Seems about right. For next pity timer vault key. Oh no! 1 away. Well then. That's nice. No, apparently that's going to be almost all of our vault keys. Oh, 3 more Nishas and you'll have your second medal. Nice. Last night we finally got our 5th full Nisha. But good luck on that. Could take a couple days, could take a couple weeks, could take a couple months. Depending on how Nishas feel. Nisha is probably one of the most inconsistently dropping things that you actually need within the game. That you can infinitely farm. Just because its drop rate's like 0.05% per roll or something. And that's on Explore difficulty 12. A chance you actually get one slightly higher than that though. Because you get 2 to 3 rolls. Is there any specific way to target Orbs of Ascension when getting an Orb of Chaos? No, it's completely random. Obviously getting more Orbs of Chaos would help, but the Orb of Chaos itself is just completely random as far as what it gives. Rainbow Ascension. I don't think they would go for something that complicated. Though I would love to see shiny cards or something similar added back to the game. There's a feature that existed for the first, like, almost year of the game, and then was removed. Like half a year to a year, and it was eventually just completely removed from the game. All it was a special border around the cards. Almost kind of like this, but around the entire card. It almost looks like how legendaries currently look. But it made everything look like it. And with a little bit more decoration. Oh, there's our gnome we needed for our 3rd guarantee vault key. Do you also want to drop a vault key so we get double vault key? No, you want to. Nope. There we go, 3 vault keys. Let's go add it to the stack of our 0 vault keys. There we go. Man, that's pretty good. Like, if those were all normal drops, I'd say we'd be doing okay right now. Because that's 3 within 2 hours. But those are all pity timer drops. Not a single one of them are a real drop. They're all pity timer. 1,000 of the card. I actually have over 1,000 commons, I believe. Let me go check. And if not, we will if we go open all of our gold keys. Actually, do it based on amount. Isn't there amount? Yeah, we have over 1,000 of every common in the game. I'm almost there for rares as well. Oh, never mind, those are ultra rares. Wait, where are the rares? Never mind, those are rares. No, wait. Where are the rares? Yeah, even rares I have at over 1,000. Ultra rares are getting close too. But even though that's just a joke, we're actually somewhat kind of there. Not exactly. But I have some ultra rares that are almost at 1,000 copies. Every common is and every rare is, or almost every rare. Let's see. We'll throw that down for now. I think Iron Ore is just trolling. How do you get an Orb of Ascension? Orb of Ascension is obtained by a couple different ways. The easiest way to infinitely farm them is during Vault events to get a bunch of Vault keys. This will then allow you to go get orbs, which can randomly end up being Orbs of Ascension, either the small ones or the major ones. Other good ways of getting them is during Tuesday events. For only 30 gems, you can complete out the entirety of the event, and it gives two random small orbs, as well as a Vault key that could have a small orb or a big orb in it, all of which could potentially be Orbs of Ascension. Other than that, the leaderboard of every single event has Orbs of Ascension, or random orbs on it that could be Orbs of Ascension. These generally aren't worth as going for compared to just the normal ones, but that is theoretically another way of getting them. And other than that, what other ways are there? It's pretty much all of them, isn't there? Yeah, generally from various events is the main way, and grinding Vault events is the best way to infinitely do them. And we currently got a Vault event this weekend. Best way to do it is spam Explorer when there's a Vault event. There's also a pity timer now in the most recent patch from a couple days ago. So now quite a bit easier to get a guaranteed amount. Though apparently we still can't get any normal ones. But we're currently about 2 hours in, and we've gotten 3 pity timer Vault keys, which overall is actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm still at 0 Vault keys, which is slightly below drop rate. Sharky shouldn't be affecting Gnome drops at all. Gnome does have priority over Battle Crasher. I haven't seen a difference in Gnome drop rates, personally. The Vault keys from the Gnomes, yes, but the actual Gnomes are pretty much on par. It just seems like it because there's so many Battle Crashers that keep popping up, making their little animation thingy. But I haven't noticed anything as far as the actual number of Gnomes. We're just a bit behind on Vault key drops. Because so far we're at, we can actually tell how many we're at. We did 5, 10, 15, so we found 30 Gnomes. You find a Gnome about once every 5 minutes. So 30 times 5 is 150 minutes. We've been farming for 2 hours, which is less than 150 minutes, which means we're actually above the drop rate of Gnomes. So the Gnomes are perfectly fine. If anything, we're actually above drop rate right now. Because it's about 1 every 5 minutes. And we're at... oh, I guess that's also because if you win... that timing is based on winning 3 per minute. We're actually winning slightly closer to 4 per minute occasionally, so... But we're also not necessarily doing this the entire time. We're looking at other stuff and stuff. But anyways, regardless, we're still above the drop rate. Like, the Gnome are dropping at the normal rate. The only thing that's behind right now is the fact that we have 0 Vault keys after 2 hours. Technically. Obviously not counting pity timer. But the Gnomes we're finding is technically at rate or slightly above rate. It just might seem weird because all the Battle Crashers popping up. But yeah, it's nice. We don't need to keep track of Gnomes anymore, which is something I normally didn't do because it's so hard to keep track. But the tracker will actually keep track of it for you. You just have to reverse engineer the numbers. So we're currently on the 20 area. So we could just take the 5, the 10, the 15, and then we know we had 30. And you find a Gnome about once every 15 battles on average. And we're winning about 3 to 4 battles per minute. Which means we should, in theory, be seeing a Gnome every 5 minutes or so. Yes, we had a secret gnome event weekend. It is a gnome event weekend. They were kind of hiding it from us until it happened. No one was expecting it. Kind of like no one was expecting the patch. They kind of got us twice. No one was expecting the patch, and no one was expecting the Vault event today. Or this whole weekend. Obviously, it's not just today. It's a normal Vault event that lasts the entire week until Monday reset. That's also the first time that we have the pity timer. We found 3 so far from pity timer. Yeah, it's for 2 things. To celebrate epic Vault keys and to test the pity timer. Which is a new feature, both of which are new features added in 5.1 update. Pity timer makes it so every 5 gnomes increasing by 5 each time gives you a vault key. So first you need 5, then you need another 10, then you need another 15, so on and so forth. Currently we need 20 for our next one. And it kind of makes sure that you get some amount of guaranteed vault keys even if you get horrible luck. And the other is an epic vault key, which is about 10 times rarer than a normal vault key, which has better loot in it. I have yet to find one. Well, I've yet to find any amount of normal keys. Eventually. Eventually. Clicking on an Orb of Ascension when it's on the, or clicking on an orb when it's at the smallest point to try to get an Orb of Ascension. I'm not sure if that works. I could try it on our next orb. Not sure if we're getting any today, though. Because I want to repair my vault keys back to 200. Though if we do get an epic vault key, I will use it immediately. Well, definitely focus on your work, William. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. Same thing, grinding it out. Oh, so hello, Fitness. Welcome. But yeah, main focus this weekend will be the grinds. I was even going to potentially stream Animal Crossing tomorrow, but no, we're just going to be doing Gems of War. Can't not do the Vault event when we have one. Well, we do Animal Crossing again soon. We have the Bug Tourney in, I believe, 2 weeks from now. Actually, the same weekend that the new faction comes out, if I'm not mistaken. I also want to get in a couple of nightly streams, which we might do midweek at this point. Since it's the last month to get a couple things in Animal Crossing. Assuming you're not using time travel, that is. Which we are not. I haven't had the time to farm up some of them. Let's see. I'll throw that down. What happened to Tech Knight? I am not quite sure. I believe he just quit the game after a while. You have to keep in mind, he was playing a lot. So he probably burned out. Also, I'm not sure, but I think his account might have gotten banned towards the end. For reasons I do not know for sure. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't play anymore. But yeah, he had, like, a lot of time. He had, like, upwards of 20,000 hours in the game. Probably even more than that. Like, he would grind for, like, absurd amount of times. Like, we're even at a pretty high amount of time. We're at 22,259 hours. And that's just on this account. If you count the other accounts, it's probably almost closer to 13,000. And if you count me actually making content for the game, that goes even higher. But, it's already over 12,000. But he was over 20,000 like a year ago. I do not recall his level, but I know it was over 2,000. I believe it was mid-2000s by the time it ended. Yeah, I believe he eventually got caught for botting to some capacity. I know he manually grinded a lot of it, but I think at one point he just started botting, which is what ultimately got it banned. He definitely got banned for something towards the end. What is the weapon I'm currently using? Doomed Glaive. You don't have to use this. I'm doing it on Explore 2, so if we get a 5x brown, we can instantly win. It gives us slightly more options to instant win with. However, this only works on Explore 2 or 1. You can't do it on Explore 3, which slightly reduces your loot. But it makes if there's the 5x brown, you auto win. Which is slightly quicker than going for the explosion. But yeah, it's Doomed Club, the weapon. What do we need here? Let's go for the splits. Yeah, I really hope we get at least one epic volt this weekend. Though it doesn't look too promising based on our current rate of 0-0. What botting is? Basically, when you end up using a program that basically plays the game for you. There's been some pretty complicated bots in the past. I know one really popular option in the past was Astral Spirit, because you could actually set up AI to target a specific area and do a bunch of calculations to figure out the exact optimal place to use Astral Spirit every single time, basically allowing you to quick kill a battle very, very, very quick. Obviously, that's not as much needed these days because you just do Leprechaun into Rowan. But you basically could set up a bot that would just automatically play the game over and over again in order to farm resources. Also, do keep in mind, things that do any amount of input also count as bots. So if you're using like an auto clicker or a one of those script things that do like multiple things whenever you like click a button, those actually do count as botting for the game as well. Are we losing 400 gold a battle? I did the calculations earlier, and I believe it was closer to 150. I can go check once we get to the next set. Yes, I am a bot. Beep, boop. Let me see. I don't think it's coming down to that much. Because we're getting 500 something. And it should be like, what, 700 something? Last I checked, it was closer to 150 or 200 gold per battle. Let's see. Yeah, we're only losing about 200 gold per battle. I don't know, I guess we could just do Explore 3. I feel like we're barely ever using the Doomed Club option anyways. Switch to armor. But yeah, we need 18 more volts. Or more gnomes till we get our next pity drop. I think we'll go grind for that right now. Let's go get our 4th pity key. Since that seems to be the only keys we're getting. Yeah, it's theoretically quicker if we do it on Explore 2, but we're only getting a battle like every like 10 minutes or 20 minutes that even gets to use the mechanic. And for how much loot we're losing along the way, we might as well just do the slightly higher difficulty. I kind of need a hero because he gave us a 5 times brown instant kill, and it's not enough damage on Explore 3 to do the instant kill. However, it happens so rarely, like only a few times an hour, that's not really worth it. After testing it for a little while. It is theoretically ever so slightly quicker. It saves about 10 to 15 seconds every hour. But it's not worth it for how much gold and everything else we're losing in that time. No, I did not disable chat overlay deliberately. It's been weird lately, the last few days. The side YouTube chat still works, though. Like the playback on and everything. But the one visually on screen is... I'm not sure what's up with it. Need to go look into it this weekend. It just likes not working sometimes. You got 5 straight battles with gnomes and ended up with 8 minor trade stones. Oh god. That hurts. I've gotten to drop, I think, 3 or 4 times so far today. Not too bad. Given how common it is. Though I've only gotten 1,000 glory, I believe, twice today. Which is the best drop of any of the gnomes that isn't a Volkey. Or an epic Volkey. Now that that's a thing. Even though we haven't seen one yet. Isabel. I'm not sure if they're ever going to add like a small way to trade within the game. They said they most likely won't. However, there have been some games that have implemented it pretty well. Because obviously any amount of trading in the game would have to be limited quite a bit. As far as what you can trade value-wise. And how often you can trade and stuff like that. Currently, the closest thing to trading in this game is you can give people 25 gems with that one pack. The only problem is they're only available by 2 means. Money, or if you have VIP 6, you can get them for some amount of gems occasionally. But that's the only technical way that you have to trade anything in the game. You can't really trade, you just give them some gems. Though you can trade with someone else who has one and basically claim it for your own gems. Because you can't gift the thing to yourself. But if you have someone else in your guild who has one, you can exchange them with each other to claim the gems, essentially. Which is worth doing because that one pack actually has a net positive gem value. I believe it costs 200 gems and has a 210 or 215 gem value. I haven't seen it for a little while. I think it's been like a week or 2 since we've seen it. I think I have almost 10 of them though. Not a single one I paid for. They were all from the little packs. I've been giving some out to my guild. How many do I have right now? It's like 7 to 10. Might be exactly 7. I haven't claimed my seals this week. Let's see. I'll click on Jeff. Yeah. Oh wow, I have 14. Gosh. Maybe I got 14 of them right now. Which, how many gems is that? That's math. That's what, 350? I think I did that right. That should be 350 gems. Is how many gems we have within gifts. So we could theoretically give one person 350 gems. Though I give them out slowly over time for various things. Let's see, we'll take that over. Oh good, we have our first turn instant win. That's what we want to see. Ideally every board will be like that. It saves about 2 to 3 seconds. But it adds up in a 15-second battle. Whenever you can get an extra turn from start for full mana. Because not only is it guarantee extra turn, but you also get the mana guarantee instantly. Whereas you have 2 problems with Leprechaun. For one, it might not give you full mana, like right there. And the other is it generally will not give you an extra turn, which wastes seconds. So many seconds wasted. Whereas 4 times 5 times blue gives us instant win. And 5 times brown or whatever we were to the other weapon if we do a difficulty lower. Oh, we got a gnome. Nice. I think we're going to keep grinding the stream until we get our 4th pity key. However long that takes. We're currently at needing 17 more gnomes. Which at 1 every 5 minutes means about another hour. Hour and a half. Depends how the gnomes want to go. We'll go till we get it. And we'll be back, of course, tonight as well. At our normal time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll still go for another hour and a half now. Then I'll grab lunch, dinner. Oh, also, Isabel, I need your help for something in Animal Crossing at that time as well. I think I might finally decorate the island for our next stream. Or before our next stream. Not the whole island, just a part of it. Let's see. Good for that. I need to put 1 random deed for every 30 moves in treasure map. Ha 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 ha. They would never do that. I did try to get them to put deeds in Explore, though. In some capacity, they never did. Unfortunately. We really need more methods to get them with the changes they made in the most recent patch. Apparently, a lot of them will be via the campaign. But that might oversaturate campaign with deeds. I think their big issue with it is they saw a lot of people not doing campaigns. So now they're going to be making it, like, really incentivizing it, even if we're playing free-to-play. Also, are we going to get a single Volkey to stream? We're on track for, like, straight 0. Is there a class you should be using to boost Rowan's effectiveness? There's the one green tree that Archer has and a few others that gives her 5 armor to green allies. Warden also has this and gives her 10 armor, but that doesn't have half mana start. There's not too many that you can really do, but yeah, Warden has plus 10 armor for Rowan, 5 for green ally and 5 for all allies. It also has green storm. The problem with Warden, though, is it doesn't have half mana start, though. If you really needed extra damage, I believe Warden actually has the highest overall. Another gnome. Come on, Volky, Epic Volky, anything that's not useless, which basically means no ingots, which means Volkies go. Nope. He gave me his rarest, most useless one. Actually, his absolute rarest is the 50 Epic, which we actually did get the other day. Also, wait, what? I was gonna say, how is there another page open? We somehow opened up the glory page as well. That was weird. 100 moves and earn a deed. Oh gosh. That would realistically be like 1 to 3 deeds per hour. Though there's someone out there who would be so good at it that they would get it like every single time. I'm not that good at treasure hunts, but I would get it probably a few per hour if it was like 1 every 100 moves in a single map. Yeah, maps is one weird location. It is the only thing where you farm resources where you get no EXP. But they really need to add more deeds everywhere. For how many we need, it is absurdly high relative to how many we currently get. Same problem with metals currently. They come in at way too slow of a rate. Even if you're doing optimal Explore 12. Yeah, but so far I really like the pity timer. But it does seem kind of weird that we're getting 0 Volkies by normal means. We're either getting super unlucky or they might have nerfed it some because of pity timer. Because we're currently almost 2.5 hours with 0 normal keys. However, a pity timer has made it so we're basically getting normal rate. We're at 3 and about to get our 4th guarantee one in a little under an hour from now. Wynced Jin. It's one of several kingdoms that has no bad effects that you have to worry about. The main reason I normally use this one is if you're not using a green storm hero class, the only thing in the entire game that has the ability to start with green storm, not counting hero, exists within this kingdom. So that's one of the main reasons. Stringfeller is his name. But he's the only troop in the entire game, not counting classes. But he's the only troop that has green storm at start of battle currently. And he resides here. But you can do any kingdom that doesn't have any of the 3 mechanics that are really annoying. They are spell reduction, empower, and revive on death. If the kingdom is missing all 3 of those, you can do it. I'm not sure what the full list is, but I just do Zhejian personally. It's nice right in the middle of the map. Oh, we got a new pet. Oh no, we won't be able to see our timer now. I might want to go do the pet, not because I need one copy anyways. Ah, look at that. How perfect. Gosh, I'm still using... I guess pistol kind of works here. Let's just roll with it. Why not? I need to switch to magic, though. We'll run it with pistol. Why not? Battle Crashers should have no effect on the gnomes. And we did the math for it. We're getting the normal gnome rate. Our gnome rate is exactly on par with what it should be. Because now the game automatically keeps tracks of how many gnomes you found. So we already know exactly how many gnomes we found. I could check as soon as we finish out this pet. Because for whatever reason, if you have a pet active, you unfortunately can't check it. Really big oversight on their part. But if you do the pet, it doesn't show up there anymore. Are those strawberry starbursts? No. They're those Sour Patch Kid things. Tropical flavored. They actually taste like gummy worms when they're tropical flavored. They don't even taste like Sour Patch Kids. It's kind of weird. There's actually a lot of gummy worms I can't have. Because they're made, contain nuts. Because they're made in like a factory that produces a bunch of other things. It's kind of weird. Given that's something that you wouldn't really expect to have any nuts in any way, shape, or form. I should have went for that one in case it wasn't enough damage. Look how good it was, though. Okay, there we go. We got a pet max. Nice. Let's go max it. That should go away in a second. Let's see. Let's go to troops. Let's go to pets. Let's go to upgradable, or just look for it. There it is. Boom. There we go. Let's go level it. And now we have an upgraded horse. Which is for Centaur bonus, which is useless. But there we go, and we get 5 gems from that. Also, we should be able to see our timer now. Maybe we need to do a battle for it to go away. It should go away. Okay, let's go do a battle. And that should reset it. And then we can see how many gnomes we currently have found. Hello, Chris. Welcome. But yes, I still have some of those strawberry starbursts. That gigantic bag that we bought for Halloween last year. I still have some left. It's 9 months later and I still have some left. Or actually 10 months. I'll need to find a new bag for this year. Yeah, that bag lasted a while. It was like a $10 bag or something, but he was huge. Lasted the whole year. Does candy expire at some point? However, most of them are generally still edible after an expiration date. This might not be as good. But most candy has like exceedingly high shelf life. Chocolate and stuff a little bit lower. But like gummies and stuff like that tend to go pretty long. Yeah, there's a lot of random things that may contain or made in factory or something that I can't have because of the nut risk. Things you wouldn't even really expect. Oh, another gnome. Oh yeah, let me go check our gnomes currently. We should have done enough battles that it is visible now. Especially now that we just got a gnome kill. Volky, go. That's not a Volky. It's your worst drop, gosh. So we've currently found, math, 36 gnomes. We found 36 gnomes so far. From those gnomes, we've gotten 0 Volkies. Though we'll have a pity timer Volky soon. 13 more, it looks like. And we'll have our pity Volky. Unless one of them want to give us one between then. Nope, diamonds. That could end up working for Guild War. Yeah, Essence of Evil, pretty interesting option. It's a great disable. Doesn't count for score, but as long as their best option isn't stealth lead, like on an Orb Weaver team, it would normally work out pretty well. But if they have a really good stealthy option like Rope Dart or Orb Weaver team, you might want to opt to not do that. Oh, of course. We did a higher difficulty, so now we can't run the team. Or we can't run the instant kill off a Doomed Glaive. Could have saved our seconds. That reminds me, let me switch back to armor. Oh, we already are on armor, never mind. I forgot to switch back to magic for the other thing. That already did it without even realizing it. Let's see, we'll go for that now. Gosh, I haven't been to the movies for forever. I was gonna see that Sonic movie back in like February and then never did. And now I wouldn't dare go into the movie theater during pandemic. Especially with how many people don't wear masks or take any precautions whatsoever around this area. But I haven't been to the movies since last year. What was the last thing I seen? I can't remember now. Was it the Pokemon movie? Has it been that long? I saw a Spider-Man thing with some friends. That might actually been the last thing I've seen in theaters. I don't think I've gone since then. But yeah, when did the most recent Spider-Man movie come out? Wasn't that, that was July, no, August, June. June of last year. I think that was the last time I've been to the movie theater, was June of last year. So it's been a little over a year. I think that might be the longest I've ever not been to a movie theater. A delicious apocalyptic candy. And I'm still doing good. I have not cheated on fast food yet. Not even ordering a pizza. I've been making them my own or just buying pre-made ones if I feel lazy, which is what I've been doing most often. Hey, another, I almost said soul gnome, another Damon gnome. We've only seen 2 so far. It's our second one. And he gives us 25. So we've gotten 20 and 25 off him so far. Yeah, I've gone, I believe, 6 months now without fast food. Still gaining weight though because I haven't been exercising as much. I need to. Might need to do like a mandatory Ring Fit Adventure stream every week. Fitness with Tacet. I've been using the treadmill occasionally though. I need to get back into the habit of it. I always smuggle food into movie theaters. They're always way too expensive. You dropped 30 pounds? Nice. Main reason I've been gaining weight is mostly from eating more. Though it's been pretty stationary lately. It just hasn't been going down. Another glory gnome. I don't even mind if that thing doesn't drop a key. As long as it gives you the 1,000 glory. Or even at least a 500. Just don't give me 200. There we go, 1,000. Nice. It's the best drop of any gnome that isn't a key. Or, you know, a vault-related key. And now I have to say vault key and epic vault key. Because now it has more than one. You opened 1,400 gem keys, 8,000 seals, 100k glory today. We got your 6 mythic. All duplicates though. Aww. That's unfortunate. 6 mythics, but all duplicates. Yeah, that's what happens when you have more than half the mythics in the game. It's why I normally say it's worth going for whenever there's a new mythic within the drop table. Because once you reach a certain amount of mythics, the chance that you will end up getting a duplicate is exceedingly high. And at a certain point, you almost never even go for those random ones, just because the chance that you would actually get a new one is just so low. The last dozen or so mythics are the hardest to get, just because at that point you keep getting duplicates if you don't specifically target them with diamonds or event keys. And even with event keys now, you can start getting duplicates, because almost every kingdom has 2 mythics now. Which means if you have one and not the other and you're trying for it, you could get a duplicate of the one you already have. Which is weird, because event keys used to be a way to kind of target them. And I even suggested that to them, that they should still make it so it's targetable. But then they never did it. They were also not interested in doing it. Which is unfortunate. Because event keys have kind of always been known, at least in the past, to be able to target out a specific mythic. But now they target out the specific kingdom's mythic, but that's more than one mythic in almost every instance now. There's still a few kingdoms that only has 1, but a good majority of them are 2, and eventually you're going to be working on to 3, probably. The chance to get a mythic's always the same, but when you get a mythic drop, it'll be either one or the other. No, Deathmark's still the same it's always been. Still pretty inconsistent. However, things that can get it done passively, hey, are pretty good. Hey, it took us 2.5 hours, but we found one. We found one. They do exist. They do still exist. We now have 1 Volky. Theoretically 4. Which is actually a pretty good rate. 4 within 2.5 hours. Because of pity timer. But we finally found a natural Volky. And it only took 2.5 hours, gosh. Let's keep hunting. We still need to find an epic Volky. I want to go at least until we hit the next pity Volky. Which I believe we are like 15 gnomes off from? 10? Somewhere around there. We were going at minimum until we find the rest of those. Actually, we only need 8 at this point. We're getting a pretty good rate then for gnomes. Definitely above average rate right now. I say that, and now we're going to go like an hour with only 8. 8 should theoretically only take 20 minutes. Or sorry, I did the math wrong. I mean 40 minutes. But obviously with bad luck, it could take over an hour. Yeah, I'm not even sure what our total Volky aim is for this weekend. We should easily still be able to hit the 10 mark, like we normally kind of aim for. But pity timer becomes less effective day by day. You know, by the end of the event, we're going to only get like 1 pity key probably. It's because we've gone through so much already. The first day is when you get a good bulk of them, of course. Since it's still all the way at the low number. Eventually, it would take over an hour to get a pity key. Actually, the current key we have right now, we have to find 20 gnomes. 20 gnomes takes approximately 100 minutes, which is, yeah, about an hour and a half. So yeah, we're already at a point where we are taking over an hour. Because even at 15, that takes ever so slightly above an hour. Yeah, it's a good way to keep track of how much you actually played the event. It's pretty cool. It's the one thing I normally wouldn't track just because of how annoying it is, and now the game does it for you. The total gnomes you found during a vault event. So now we can just keep track of the key values. Hopefully the vault key will go up to 1. Or the epic vault key, I mean. We will find one eventually. Hopefully this weekend. If anyone still has any questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. Come on, Volky. Either one. Doesn't matter which. At least something key related. Hey! This is our hour. It is time. There we go. 2 Volkies. Is this the hour where we get 10 Volkies? No, not that many. Really good luck, though. There we go. 5 Volkies total. And a pity 6 is guaranteed in about like 30, 40 minutes from now. Ideas on epic Volkies? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. Like, what's in the drop table? We already know a few of the drops. Biggest one I've seen anyone mention so far is 2 major orbs. I assume it has a pretty big gem drop somewhere in there that's rare. Probably like 500 if not higher. Probably 500 because if you 20% that, that's 600, right? Should be. Oh, whoa. That was weird. I like casted it, but still clicked back on its ability when it didn't have cast anymore. Yeah, pretty much just grind. There's no way to really, like, guarantee get it. You just have to keep grinding. It's about 10 times rarer than a normal Volky. Meaning that in a time that you would find 10 normal Volkies, not counting Pity Timer, you would find about 1 epic Volky, approximately. We found 2 so far. It's very rare. Its loot only seems to be a few times better than a normal Volky, though. Like around 2 to 3 times better, depending on the drop. Yeah, too bad we can't always get that many Volkies. But we got a pretty good hour so far. Also, our rate relative to how much we farmed for is pretty good, too. Because a little after the 3-hour mark, we'll be at 6 Volkies. Because we know for sure we're getting the pity one by then. Around then. Because I believe we need 6 more gnome kills? It's either 5 or 6. Losing track. The vault keys keep catching me off guard. But yeah, we need 5 more. And then we get our pity key. Do you think go to level 20s far as gnomes will increase chances? No. Upgrading a gnome similar to upgrading treasure has no effect on anything. You found an 11 normal Volky, but no epic? Ouch. That's still pretty good, though. But obviously, after getting 10 Volkies, it's not a guarantee that you'll get an epic Volky. But approximately, for every 10 normal Volkies that you find natural, you would get 1 epic. Though obviously, it's not guaranteed. End your ton. There we go. That's the only slight problem with this delve occasionally. Since they're mostly gnomes. I mean, since they're mostly goblins. They have a bit of loot potential. There's plenty of other troops that aren't goblins in the kingdom that prevent them from doing so. That's not that bad. Better than them having mana drain or something. I think one technically does have a % chance of silence, which could theoretically hit Rowan. It's so ridiculously rare though. I think it has only ever happened once ever. Because not only does he have to get mana, but he has to hit the right target and he has to actually roll silence. Which is all very unlikely. I should gamble that since that wasn't guaranteed full mana. But it was guaranteed extra turn, which is why I took it. Luckily we did get Surge. And I believe we need 4 more gnomes. If anyone still has any questions, do let me know. About duplicates, is there a team we can use with multiple High King Iron Gut? No. There is unfortunately no team that would viably use multiple of them. Because you need to get his first Devour to get him to kill range. And then the other gnomes wouldn't have that. Hey Chad, you just got in? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, it's a vault event. Oh yeah, you just got here. Yeah, it's a vault event. They surprised us with a 5.1 patch, and now they surprised us with random vault event. Next one was supposed to be about a month from today. But, yeah, they did one this weekend. Did it out of nowhere. That kind of makes sense since they buffed up Vault Event, so they're just kind of showing off the new patch. So it doesn't feel like we're waiting forever to see the new features. Otherwise, we would have had to wait like another 4 or 5 weeks. Which we still need to for the next Vault Event, but, yeah, they just did one out of nowhere. But yes, it is indeed a vault event right now. Which means we have that new pity timer thing. Which allows us to, after a certain amount of kills, get a guarantee vault key. The first one's at 5, then at 10, then 15, 20, so on and so forth, going up by 5. So the next one after this will require 25 gnome kills. You get the first several pretty quick. But then obviously they start taking longer and longer to get the pity timer vault keys. But over the course of the weekend, yeah, you can end up getting like 5 to like 10 pity timer Volkies or so, possibly even more if you grind it out more. But it basically just makes sure that if you're getting ultra bad luck, you'll still get some amount of guarantee Volkies throughout the event. So it's pretty cool. So it's not as discouraging as normal. Because otherwise, we'd only have 2 Volkies right now. But due to pity timer, we're at almost 6. Currently at 5. But a guarantee one coming very soon. Yes, it's all weekends, not just today. It's today, tomorrow, and Sunday. All the way until Monday reset time. So you still got, as of this exact moment in time, 2 days and 12 hours. So it's still got plenty of time to go grind it. And the best locations are 1 trophy casual PvP, especially if you're looking for pet gnomes. And the other location is Explore 1, 2, or 3 difficulty. And quick kill it with Rowan or whatever you want to use. As long as you're winning Explore in under 20 seconds, you're doing it right. This team can theoretically go in under 15 seconds if you click quick enough. And get a good starting board like that. And also we have the new epic Volkey that can be found as well. I haven't found any yet. But they're 10 times rarer than a normal Volkey. You also never get any of them on Pity Timer. Or I assume they don't. Maybe really deep into Pity Timer you'll get a guarantee one. I don't believe so though. If anyone does find out who plays like the Vault event absurdly high this weekend, let me know if by like the 10th or 20th one if you get like an epic Volkey or something. I don't think you do. I think it's almost entirely, I'm pretty sure it's entirely normal Volkeys. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just randomly added a guarantee epic one. Super deep into it. I'm pretty sure it's purely the other one. Oh yeah, I forgot. I moved it to a lower difficulty. I can't win with that anymore. Whoops. No, it's still 1, so I guess it worked. But it only works on difficulty 2, not 3. I raised it to 3 because we were losing too much gold. And there was barely any situations where it was actually viable to do that. It only happens like 3 times every hour or so. And speaking of 3, I'm pretty sure we're only 3 off from Pity Timer Volkey. 3rd Volkey, nice. I'm still at 2. Not counting Pity. I'm actually curious to see which one will be higher by the end of this weekend. Theoretically, it should be our normal Volkey drops. But that'd be kind of funny if Pity actually goes higher. If your Pity is higher than your actual dropped Volkeys by the end of the weekend, you got really bad luck. That's basically a good way to determine how lucky or unlucky you got. If you have at least 5 Pity keys, if you have more Pity keys than normal keys, if you have at least 5 Pity keys, then you have gotten bad luck. It's like the easiest way to tell if you've gotten bad luck. If by 5 Pity keys are higher, your Pity keys are higher than your normal Volkey drops. You're pretty new to the game and heard that it's best to keep a delve at low level. Yes, you generally want to keep City of Thieves at level 20 forever. Does it matter which one you keep below? Yes, City of Thieves if you can, if you haven't already upgraded it. City of Thieves at level 20 is the best farming faction in the entire game. Generally, you keep all of them pretty low earlier on in the game just because delves in general, as far as getting them higher, isn't something that you can really do until later in the game. It's more of like an end game piece of content, or at least way late game. But yeah, keeping City of Thieves at level 20 forever is really good for farming. Has the best loot of any delve. And you should be doing that as a daily. Just running at level 20 3 times a day. It's pretty quick, and you'll get a bunch of class XP, and you'll get a bunch of really good loot, like legendary ingots, mythic ingots, and chaos shards. All 3 of which drop at the highest rate from Underworld. From doing delves, the 3 daily delves. And those are used to upgrade legendary weapons, mythic weapons, and chaos shards are used to get a wide range of troops. Some of the better places to go for are Sunken Fleet until you get Mirage Queen, Amithrax until you get what's his name, Truffle, Gob Truffle, and or some other good ones. Stone Song Airy until you get Harpy Mage, and a few other here and there. But chaos shards are pretty useful earlier on in the game because they're basically like event keys that work on specific factions. Event key drop table is based on whatever the kingdom currently is. However, there are a bunch of things in the underworld that have their own drop table through those chaos shards that basically gives you 4 troops per thing and has a really concentrated drop table that allows you to get them at any point. Some of them are really good. We're using one of them now, Mirage Queen. It's from Sunken Fleet, and it's you do have to get it traded, which might take a little bit, but it has 50% elemental hero start. 50% elemental start, which is currently the strongest typing in the game actually right now. And it works really good with a really easy to obtain troop as well. Rowan, which you get for free from completing a Forest of Thorns questline. And she has one of the best damage outputs in the entire game relative to how easy she is to obtain. She's one of the only few really good low rarity damage sources. And you get her completely for free from completing a questline. I wish they would make more of the Kingdom epics better like that. Or at least for early game, if nothing else. Rowan scales through the entire game, though. A lot of them are very, very dated. And the only reason why Rowan actually seems good is she's the most recently updated epic troop of any kingdom. She's the only one who has been tweaked in recent times. I believe she was tweaked about 3 years ago. Which is one of the reasons why she's so good. She was the only, she's the most recent kingdom epic to ever have gotten a buff. Because she used to have 1x boost ratio for her armor, but now it's 2x. And with increasingly higher stats, that becomes much better over time. So, hello, Jose. Welcome. Hey, another gnome. I think we're only 2 off now? 2 or 3? Hopefully I'll drop a Volky. That'd be cool if we can end up getting 7 by the end of the stream. But 6 is still good. Ah, gems. Well, that's not a bad drop. Better than most of his drops. Yeah, overall, I kind of like the pity system that they added. It's a good way to kind of keep track of everything and make sure that you still get some amount of rewards. Makes it more exciting because you know for sure, like, after X amount of time, you're going to get something. Like, we know for sure that in, like, 10, 15, 20 or so minutes from now, we will get a Volky. Like, we don't need to guess. We don't need to farm for, like, forever and be like, oh, we didn't get any Volky whatsoever. We know for sure in about 15 to 20 minutes we will get a Volky. Because we just need to find, oh, one more gnome. Oh, I didn't realize we're that close. So that should only take like 5-10 minutes to find another gnome. Because normally you wouldn't know. At this point, normally it could be anywhere from like 10 minutes to like 2-3 hours till you find another Volky. But now we know pretty much exactly when. Second we see a gnome, we'll have it. Even if he doesn't specifically drop one. Also, that'd be interesting if we get a pity Volky at the same time we get a Volky from a battle. Haven't had that happen yet. It's gonna happen eventually. It becomes increasingly less likely as we keep getting deeper, since the interval keeps getting wider. Why does the new mythic leave the table? It hasn't completely left the table. You need to get some other ones. You've gotten 2 of the new one. Oh yeah, did you get it after the fact? Yes. Mythics are a bit weird. Well, not really weird, but unlike other pieces of content, when they come in, let's say like whenever there's a new legend and event key drop table or glory troops, the way that they work is they're in the drop table for the week of the event, and then they're out of the drop table for a month until they come back into the drop table. However, mythics are different. Mythics are immediately available in the drop table. So whenever a mythic leaves the drop table, it never really leaves. Like the exclusive mythic that was available last week. That's why I say like it's available this week and then it goes in the drop table with everything else. Basically what happens with mythics is they're exclusive for a single week when they come into the game. But then the second the event is over, they're in the drop table with all the other mythics. So yes, you can still get the new mythic that just came out last week right now. However, you can also get any other mythic in the game. However, if you're specifically trying to not get the most recent mythic that just came into the game, well, you still can. He's still in the drop table, so you could theoretically accidentally drop him, or, you know, get him as a drop, even though you don't necessarily want him as a drop when you're trying to get random things. Because, yes, he is in the drop table right now. He's just not the exclusive mythic in the drop table. Every mythic's in the drop table right now. But that also includes the one that was just available literally yesterday and throughout all last week. So yes, he can still block you, essentially. But it also means if you haven't gotten him last week, you can still get him. It's just exceedingly rare that you would actually pull him specifically. Let's see. You managed to get Rowan team and Key team level 300 on Switch, and they're fully traded. Nice. There's a lot of things you can do with it, especially Skeleton Key. Skeleton Key is really good with Cedric Sparkle Sack for the amount of extra damage that you get from it. It's really good for gold farming. Best gold farming team in the game, I believe, is still double Cedric Sparkle Sack, Egg Thief into Skeleton Key. It does about 400, well, it depends what your bonuses are, but it does about 300 to upwards of 400,000 per hour in Explore 12. And you just do a safe Explore 12 location and keep spamming it over and over again. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's the highest gold rate in the entire game from what I'm aware of. I'm not aware of anything higher. With my current bonuses, it does about 400,000 per hour. But that's what I believe a 50% gold bonus off of VIP, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 50 or 75, I forget. But obviously if your VIP is higher or lower, it can be slightly off. But it's anywhere from like 300 to 400,000 plus. Yeah, a lot of resources in this game can be infinitely farmed. That is one pretty good thing about this free-to-play game. While they have been slightly starting to partially pay off some pieces of content, a lot of it is very accessible to grinding. Like, there are still players in this game that are 100% free-to-play that have never spent a cent that still have everything. It might take a lot of time, but it's a fun grind. But everything is grindable. Like, you can infinitely farm gold. You can even infinitely farm the premium currency. You can infinitely farm gems in 2 different ways, taking tribute every single hour and doing treasure hunt. Doing treasure hunt is about 50 to 70 gems per hour, and tribute is, it depends on how upgraded your kingdoms are, but it is anywhere from about 5 to 20 gems per hour, depending on how upgraded they are. Though it could be lower way earlier in the game. Once you hit level 4-star all kingdom, it's about 8 to 9 gems per hour. Currently, I'm at about like 15 plus, with how many upgrades we have currently. Not sure the exact amount. I don't really keep track of it much these days. I just take it and hope we get a lot. And I'm pretty sure more than half the game still plays 100% free-to-play. It's definitely one of the more accessible free-to-play games to do that for. Because barely anything's really money locked. The only thing currently in the game that's money locked is very old weapons and very old pets. A couple of them are partially money locked, but most of them are either cosmetic or completely dead content. Also, technically, Death Knight armor is money locked, but the Dragon armor and Celestial armor do pretty much the same thing. This was slightly less XP gain. And also a couple of visuals are like unlocked, like the dwarf that they added and that other bunny thing. But most people barely even use them anyways, even if they own them. Let's see, we'll throw that down. I do wish they would do more cosmetics, but they keep saying like they make so little from actually adding cosmetics to the game that they don't really bother. Because that's the route a lot of free-to-play games go, is more cosmetics. But they decided not to go down that route. And one of the best ways as a free-to-play player, or even just in general, to gain resources during vault events, which is occurring right now. It's great to grind these out, because it's a good way to keep up with any kind of resource costs within the game. Because you can farm a lot of resources, even though we're just keeping track of vault keys and stuff. We are getting plenty of other loot other than just vault keys right now. Mostly glory, souls, a bunch of gem value related items and stuff like that. Hello, James! Welcome! Also, did we ever find that one gnome? Because we should have another vault key, so. It doesn't give us a notification, apparently, if we haven't claimed the previous notification. Which seems kind of weird. You'd think they would keep giving you the notification, but nope. If you already have one, it won't. I wonder if level up's the same way. Does anyone know if level up's actually the same way? It takes so long between my levels that I don't even know in the current state of the game. But if you get a level up, does it give you and you don't claim the reward? Like a post-level 1000 level up. If you get a post-level 1000 level up and you don't claim the reward, does it notify you when you get your next level in the mail? I'm not sure if it does. Though you would kind of know when you get the level because the screen would pop up. I'm not sure if the mail notification does. Do you burn all your vault keys trying to get an epic key? No. Actually, are they even in the drop table of vault keys? That'd be kind of interesting if they do. I'll throw that down. Yeah, level up has a different window, but I was talking about the notification for the mail. Oh, there's our gnome. Not sure if we already found one, but if not, that's definitely our vault key one. Do you want to drop a vault key on top of it? You know you want to. That is not a vault key. However, that should be our pity key. 16 gems. Nice. Yep, that was our pity key. Nice. So we are now at, there we go. Let's go update it. So that's not too bad. For 3 hours, we did 6 keys due to pity timer. We did 2 keys naturally and 4 keys through pity. Pretty cool. And now we need 25 to go get the next one there. So what's our adventure board? Oh, horrible. Horrible, horrible adventure board today. We'll go a little bit further. Then I'll probably grab lunch/dinner. We'll be back in 5 hours from now as well to go do more. A little bit of a break to rest the eyes. So if anyone still has any questions, let me know. Probably go till we find a few more gnomes. Oh, Epic Key and Vault. That's rather interesting. I wonder if we replace all the Vault Key drops in Vault with Epic Keys instead. Or, you know, whenever you would normally randomly get a Vault Key. I wonder if they replace them with Epic Vault Key. Has anyone seen a normal Vault Key drop since then in a Vault Key? Because that might have been what they did. Because they were so rare already in the drop table. So it makes sense if they did that. Is a gnome event on Switch? I actually do not know. You'd have to log in to check. If it shows underneath your notifications, you'd be able to know. But I'm actually not sure if it is. I would assume so. But given that Switch didn't get the update, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, is it Bounty Hunter on Switch right now? Maybe they didn't get Vault event. Though it is possible to have a event while still having the gnome event as well. Like, they do overrun various events normally when they do appear. Ah, 200 glory. Come on, that's the worst drop from it. Yeah, Switch didn't get 5.1 yet. Actually, I'm not even sure if they got 5.0. I'm pretty sure they don't even have 5.0 yet. They're probably going to get 5.0, 5.1, and 5.2 all at the same time. Oh, they did get 5.0. Never mind. But no 5.1 yet. Yeah, they got 4.9, 4.95, and 5.1 in the same, or 5.0 in the same patch, which means they'll probably combine 5.1 and 5.2, or 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. Though one of the patches coming up soon should be a 0.5 patch. And that's like a really mini patch. This was obviously one of the bigger patches. Actually, this was... honestly, this patch was bigger than 5.1. I mean, 5.0. The 5.1 patch. Like, it had more consequential changes than 5.0 did. It really seems like everything in this patch was pretty much made to be in the previous patch and just didn't make the cut in time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. And just because of the virus, they didn't. I mentioned that earlier, too. I'm almost, like, 100% certain. Because every single thing in this patch seems like it should have been in 5.0. And this was just delayed due to the virus. Which would explain why 5.0 had such a small amount of feature. Because a lot of these are so similar to things that was in 5.0. And things that we were kind of expecting, like the increase to power level and the increase to the troop level thing. Or, you know, to the 2 kingdom levels. Kingdom level and star level. Tina Beatrix team? We've tried it before. It works pretty good. You cast Tina first and then clean up with Beatrix. And the brown feeds back into Tina. I've ran it before. The main reason I don't really run it is generally I don't really care for Beatrix personally. It's a really good troop. But I tend to only really use it in Guild Wars if I absolutely need it for its cleanse. In most other situations, I don't risk it. Because it does have a little bit of inconsistency, and I don't like its inconsistency. Because occasionally it will miss its extra turn. Because it doesn't have auto extra turn. Well, it will likely get a turn off a board off its percent chance to get a turn. It's not guaranteed. And even though it's pretty much the best cleanser in the game, it has some faults when it comes to looping. What does my 2+4 Volky mean? The left number is how many we found naturally. The right number is pity timer. Because in the most recent patch, we have gotten a guaranteed number of Volkies based on the number of gnomes we kill. And currently we've killed, which I'm not sure the exact number, I'll go check in a second. But we've currently killed 50... We killed 51 gnomes so far. And basically every 5 increasing, we end up getting a Volky for sure. So at 5 kills, we get a guaranteed Volky. Then at 10 kills total, then 15, or every single increment. So technically 5 plus 10 is actually 15. So at this point, we're at 51 kills. But it goes to 5, then 10, then 15, 20, 25, so on and so forth. But those are our guarantee keys that we're keeping track of separately from our actual drops. And the main reason I'm doing this is so we know how many we're actually getting from drops. But yeah, the left number is... the far left number is our 0 epic Volkies we've gotten so far, which is probably saying 0 this entire weekend, but I'm still hoping for one. The Volky number to the left that is 2 is currently our actual drops, and the one to the right is our pity timer ones, which is a new feature added in the most recent patch that we had a couple days ago. This is the first event we've ever been able to use them for. They don't take effect always, only specifically during Vault events, but this weekend is a Vault event because they added it out of nowhere. Well, Key and Rowan can still be your core teams for most things. Key can run through all of pet battles, all of daily adventure board, all of dungeons. The only thing both of those two things can't do is delves. They can do low-level delves, but they can't do high-level delves. Yeah, but there's only several pieces of content. Guild-related events, delves, or at least the higher end of delves. And that's it. I think that's pretty much the only things that those two things wouldn't cover. Otherwise, they can cover pretty much everything else. Especially if you get Urskia Shield if you don't already. Urskia Shield allows Rowan to upscale. Urskia Shield is obtained from 250 wins on Sentinel Hero class. Sentinel Hero class is obtained from Urskia Kingdom questline. Just so go to that questline, play Sentinel until you until you get 250 wins. And then you get a really good weapon for free from that, which Rowan needs to get an armor buff. It's actually her best armor buff weapon in the game that upscales. And actually allows her to do all of delves as well. It basically allows Rowan to do everything. Anything Rowan wasn't already able to do, Urskia Shield basically unlocks the ability to do. Allows her to do level 12 Explorer. It allows her to do, not at the quickest rate in the game, but still allows her to do it. Allows her to do delves, allows her to do harder PvP, allows her to do basically everything. Almost nothing she doesn't do at that point. Urskia Shield into Rowan, both of which are available for free. It's actually the strongest combo in the game that has a 100% chance of dropping 100% for free. Hey, 10,000 gold, nice. Yeah, has anyone else gotten Epic Volky yet? If so, how many gnomes have you gotten total, approximately? Until you got the key. Because based on the rate, it should be, which I'm not sure what it would be. It'd be about, Honestly, it would almost take like 8 hours to get an epic vault key. Or even higher than that. It would take like 8 to 12 hours based on its drop rate. Not sure the exact math, but somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure no one has gotten 3 epic vault keys yet. Some people probably got ultra lucky and somehow got 2. More diamonds. I don't need diamonds, though. I prefer 5 gems over 5 diamonds. Even though 5 diamonds technically has better value. Just because I have more diamonds than I ever know what to do with them in the current state of the game. I think we have enough to craft, like, 18 mythics or something. I know, we could literally just do a stream or a video just opening vault keys. We have that many. However, I'm hoarding them for a really specific reason. And now that we finally got the vault key buff, which was technically the reason I was hoarding them for, there's actually a new reason to hoard them. And it is for the vault key drops that exist from the campaigns. The Heart of Rage will be available a couple weeks after the campaign in the vault key drop table. And things like that is what we want to hold out for. Especially if they get consumed when crafted into something. Which we have yet to get confirmation on. Because if those things get consumed when you craft them, you're going to need them. You're going to need those vault keys in order to go and get them. Like if you consume your Heart of Rage to make whatever it consumes into, you then need to go get another Heart of Rage, or otherwise you have 0 copies. And from that, you'll need vault keys. Yeah, there's a chance that it might be in the epic vault key drop table only, which is true. However, we don't know yet how exactly that's going to go down. But I'd rather save them just in case it is in the normal drop table. Because I assume it would be underneath the Cedric drop table. Like the same category that Cedric drops on. I assume it would be under that, but would just replace him as one that drops. So Cedric would be less often, but you would have other drops coinciding with him. Because currently, as far as legends within the vault key drop table, there's only one, and it's Cedric. So it makes sense if they added more, just to diversify it. Because commons have like, what, 7, 8 at this point? Whereas legends have 1, I mean. Only 1 copy. So it kind of makes sense if it had more. It would also theoretically make Cedric rarer, which is probably something they would want because Cedric is the best thing underneath that category. Since it's basically a fair Shra. It's basically a mythic. Cedric is basically a mythic. He's a mythic with a legendary border. Because he's basically the fair Shra of gold. And fair Shra is a mythic. Umberwolf kind of reminds me of that too. Umberwolf is the only non-hero class, non-mythic that has a Perpetual Storm. Actually, that's not true. They added another dual storm to that one Legends. So never mind, there actually are multiple now. I almost forgot about that. Because that one, the one and only dual storm in the entire game is actually on a Legends. I wonder whatever happened to that. They added it in a patch. We got one single troop that has it. And then they never touched it again. Dual storms in general are going to be extremely underwhelming in the game. However, there are a couple dual storm colors that would be extremely, extremely strong, like red, purple, brown, green, and a few others. But most dual colors will be completely pointless. Unless they're like super meta dual colors. But yeah, red, purple, and green, brown would be the strongest. Green, brown because of truffle-related teams and Beatrix. And red purple because of things like Yagway and similar things that just use a lot of red purple. Red purple are the 2 biggest damage source colors. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they added dual colors and it's like, oh, we're never going to do it again. Or they didn't say they would never do it again, but we haven't got one in months. We only got the one, and then they never did it again. It's been like, what, 4 months now or something? It's been a while. It has been a while. What else we need here? I'm not sure. Oh, wait. We do have it on the board. Nice. But anyways, does anyone else have any other questions? Do let me know. I think we'll wrap up as soon as we find our next gnome. We'll go grab lunch, dinner. At this point, it's almost turning into dinner. I was just going to make up a couple sandwiches. Let's see. We'll throw that down. But we will be back 4.5 hours from now, so we won't be gone for long. And at that point, we'll be doing our normal nightly stream and pretty much doing the same grind we're doing now. Just with our dailies and getting those done. So nothing too interesting off of dailies today. If nothing else, Daily Adventure Board does have gnome chance on it. And since they're really quick kills, you normally want to go do them even if they're completely useless. Because you'll be able to get gnomes off them. You won't be able to get them off of dungeons or pet battles. But they do appear underneath Daily Adventure Board. Oddly enough. So those 9 battles that we have today all have a chance at gnome. And they die within like seconds. As quickly as these things go down is how quick those will go down. Especially since they're all low rarity ones. I keep accidentally clicking explore in the background. Or whatever that thing is. Which also reminds me, we need to get those things upgraded at some point. Level 21 kingdoms actually require them to be upgraded. I think we only need to get them to 6. I don't think we need to do them all the way to max, but we might even need to max them. It doesn't take that long though. We can get a single kingdom done in like under an hour to do all of them. But I haven't done it for like any of the kingdoms yet, so we'll need to get around to that. Yep, there's our gnome. You know you want to give me a vault key. Come on, if we get a vault key right now, that means our normal vault keys would pretty much be on par with drop rate. Come on, vault key, go. No, well, 5 gems, not bad. But counting pity timer into it, not bad. We basically did almost 2 per hour, a little bit less than that because we've been going for a little bit longer than 3 hours. But actually, almost 3.5 hours at this point, actually. But, yeah, not bad. I like the pity timer. I definitely like it. It's definitely a great addition. But, that's pretty much the gnome event so far. We'll see if we can ever find one of these epic vault keys. Hopefully we will. But it's still trying to be very much elusive. But we'll eventually get it. Do it on hard difficulty. See if we get anything shiny from it. And, of course, we still got our normal vault keys over here, which I'm kind of hoarding for other troops in the future. And here are 4 vault keys we've gotten from the thing, which expire after a week, so we can kind of hoard them there forever if we want to. Oh, and apparently we got a legend from a legendary task. How fitting. It's a useless one, though. This is actually a reference to the very first puzzle quest as well. This is the first boss in Puzzle Quest 1. I forgot what its name was, but it's definitely a reference to it, 100%. It even had a gold-related mechanic around it, and this thing has a gold... Everything relates gold-related. Unfortunately, it's completely useless. Would have been actually pretty cool if they made it a little bit more viable, or a little bit more like the other guy, who had really good skull damage and everything. Because that thing doesn't even have like a skull spam or anything. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. We'll be back in 4.5 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we do every single night. And, of course, as the fact that we got a vault weekend this weekend, we will be grinding it like crazy. And that'll be our main priority this weekend, is get that pity timer up, just find more keys naturally, and hopefully find ourselves our first epic vault key and see if we can get anything cool off it. That's pretty much the game plan. Anyways, guys, best of luck with the vault event. I will catch you guys very soon. Enjoy your weekend, and goodbye, everyone. Thank you, as always, for watching, and catch you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone.